White House. No U.S. troops will be sent to Ukraine. A National Security Council spokeswoman emphasizing that President Biden's position on that has not changed. And Germany's chancellor says no troops from Europe or NATO will be sent either, a rebuttal to something the French president said.
Emmanuel Macron had said the idea wasn't being ruled out after hosting top-level talks on the state of the war. But allies are queuing up to rein things back. NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg and British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's office also saying there are no plans for combat troops on the ground. The Kremlin warned such a move would make confrontation between Russia and NATO inevitable.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The U.S. Army is planning an overhaul, including slashing the size of the force by about 24,000, nearly 5%, though many of those cuts would be posts already empty, including counterinsurgency-related positions that swelled during wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. An Army document says the restructuring plan will add about 7,500 soldiers in critical missions needed more now, including counter-drone units. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Windy and very warm, and there's a cold front on the way. That will be the trigger for scattered showers and thunderstorms going through the afternoon. 80 for the high today, 28 tonight as that cold front comes through. Scattered showers and thunderstorms during the evening hours, and even some snow possible after midnight. Wednesday, sunny, windy, and cold, only 39. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
I'm embarrassed to say this. I've been using deodorant on my armpits for 30 years, and anytime I noticed odor anywhere else, I thought I needed another shower, I wasn't clean, or I felt like there was something wrong with me. And then my gynecologist told me about Lumi. It's a whole body deodorant for pits, feet, and privates that controls odor anywhere and everywhere on your body. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, anywhere on my body. And that reassurance is worth every penny.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 300 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code 300. LUME deodorant.com, code 300 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I am so sure you're going to love it. Or return it for free. That's LUME deodorant.com, code 300 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. LUME deodorant.com, code 300.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
Download the free Upside app and earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Happy, beautiful Tuesday afternoon. It's like 80 degrees outside in St. Louis, and it's going to snow tonight. And if you're listening to this on the Odyssey app and you're not in St. Louis or you've missed St. Louis, maybe I know there's some people, I hear from you every once in a while that you've moved to Florida, but you still come back around on the Odyssey app for the Annie Fry Show, which would be 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern. If you missed St. Louis at all, or if you're like, why did I leave St. Louis? It's because it's going to be 81 today and snow tonight. That's just the weirdest thing ever. But when you live in the Midwest, you get all 4 seasons in one day. And we're about to enjoy that here. There's a lot of news going on. There's a lot of developments in news. Brad, I would say that today is one of those days where a lot of things are, the ball's moving incrementally down the field. Like it's crossing over midpoint, the 50-yard line.
Yeah, I would say we're almost getting into the red zone on some of these news stories.
Some of them that are real big.
Yeah.
Like we got the first down, we're threatening, but we're not quite there yet. One of those things that we haven't discussed a whole lot about is a looming government shutdown. And while maybe we haven't talked about it as much on this show, the president of the United States did bring in the congressional leaders to discuss the looming government shutdown, and we got Chuck Schumer first.
Yes.
And then Hakeem Jeffries after that. They just spoke outside of the White House. Let's listen to Chuck Schumer first.
In the Oval Office. The 4 of us all together led. First person to speak was Leader McConnell. Well, the 5 of us, the President, the Vice President, Leader McConnell, Leader Jeffries, and myself, made it so clear how vital this was to the United States. This was so important, and that we couldn't afford to wait a month or 2 months or 3 months because we would, in all likelihood, lose the war. NATO would be fractured at best. Allies would turn away from the United States, and the boldest leaders, the boldest autocrats of the world, the Putins, the Xis, the presidents of North Korea. I like the governor of North Carolina, actually. The presidents of North Korea and Iran would be emboldened, thinking that the United States was this soft, fat country that lost its way and would take advantage. And so we said to the speaker, get it done. I told him this is one of the moments, I said, I've been around here a long time. It's maybe 4 or 5 times that history is looking over your shoulder. And if you don't do the right thing, whatever the immediate politics are, you will regret it. I told him 2 years from now and every year after that. Because really it's in his hands. It's in his hands. We told him how important it was. It was passionate. I talked about my trip to Ukraine where I met soldiers who had Russian artillery in range with the drones they have, but had no ammunition to fire at them. We talked about 4 brigades who are ready to go, Ukrainian, no arms, and how serious the lack of arms was. And it was the consensus in that room, Zelensky and Ukraine will lose the war if we don't get the arms and don't get them quickly. The speaker brought up the border. We made it very clear to him that we want to do something real on border, and in fact, we Democrats in the Senate supported a border bill that very conservative groups, including the Border Patrol agents, the Wall Street Journal editorial page, and Chamber of Commerce were for, but said to hold up Ukraine, which, as he admitted, was a national imperative, because you can't do something else which we all should work on, was a non sequitur. There was no logic. There's a logic to solving the border. We want to solve it. But we have to do Ukraine right now because there's a weight that can get done quickly, because that has broad bipartisan consensus, and the border takes some more work, which we'll be happy to work on to get it done, but not hold up the Ukraine bill for it.
Senator Schumer.
Let me first just thank President.
So we're going to interrupt Hakeem Jeffries here, and that was Chuck Schumer who was just speaking from his side of the aisle. Mike Johnson came out in a little bit afterwards here, and I want to give you Schumer's side and Mike Johnson's side. So you get somebody from the left, the leader of the Democrats in the Senate, and then we'll have the Republican response with Mike Johnson here in the House. Let's listen into the speaker reacting after this meeting with the president on the government shutdown.
That's Mike Johnson speaking now after his meeting with the Big Four and the president.
Something states over the last several weeks, going around the country, appearing at events with my colleagues, and we're hearing from the American people of all parties and all persuasions in all cities and all states who feel this acutely. They understand the catastrophe at the border is affecting everyone, and it is top of mind for all the American people for that reason. So I brought that issue up repeatedly today in that room and again one-on-one with the president. I think that's our responsibility to bring that up. The other big priority for our country, of course, is the funding of our government. And we have been working in good faith around the clock every single day for months and weeks and over the last several days, quite literally around the clock, to get that job done. We're very optimistic. I hope that the other leaders came out here and told you the same. We believe that we can get to agreement on these issues and prevent a government shutdown, and that's our first responsibility. You also heard, I'm sure, that there was discussion about the supplemental spending package, and I was very clear with the president and all those in the room that the House is actively pursuing and investigating all the various options on that, and we will address that in a timely manner. But again, the first priority of the country is our border and making sure it's secure. I believe the president can take executive authority right now today to change that, and I told him that again today in person, as I've said to him many times, publicly and privately over the last several weeks. It's time for action. It is a catastrophe, and it must stop. And we will get the government funded, and we'll keep working on that. So we'll have more for you soon.
Is that it? Okay. So I really like what I heard Speaker Johnson saying there at the end. If Joe Biden is going to shuffle out in front of the border wall in Texas to mumble through something about how the Republicans want to keep the border open, nobody's buying that. Nobody is that stupid to buy that. What they will be is either incensed that he would imply that you're that stupid, or entertained watching Joe Biden do his best effort to get under people's skin like you and me. There's nobody who's like, wow, I hadn't really thought of it that way. Thank you, Joe Biden, for enlightening me. That's not happening.
No serious person.
No voter. I guess they come to your house now and just say, can you just sign here? I don't see how Joe Biden, it is quite a quandary for the Democrats, because the more he's not present, the more it subsidizes the idea that he's incapable. The more he is present, you don't even have to ask questions because he's so incapable.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I liked what he said. Actually, I kind of got the impression, too, that even if Joe Biden would take executive action, then they're willing to negotiate on these other things.
I'm okay with that.
I am, too.
Because they will have pushed him into doing that.
Right.
And give me the power, which is what he keeps moaning and groaning about, what the Republicans in the House need to do. That has been his line for 3 to 4 weeks. if he goes and acts on executive action, that is an admission of two things.
Yes.
One, that he broke it, and two, that he could fix it all along, and he tried to use it as a political trump card on the House Republicans, and he lost. So, yes, Mr. President, let's not play politics here.
Yeah. Do it. And then we can get Ukraine funded, to whatever extent that is, get Israel funded to whatever extent that is, and we can move on and make sure the government stays open. I think that's a good move for the Republicans in that sense because that's a political win all the way around, but also
it's also what's best for the country.
It's what's best for the country. It's great.
We do need to see the House Republicans. You've got this one really super annoying section of power.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give it up. Don't give it up on the behalf. Don't give it up and give up the security of the country. You are the ones who are fighting right now to get the border protected and secured. And I hesitate. This is one of the things when Brad and I went to the border last, was it June?
June, yeah.
We went to McAllen, Texas. We were there for 3 days, I think. And I remember somebody saying, we don't like, this is semantics, but it is a distinction that I think matters. It's not about closing the border because everybody out there, not everybody, the majority of people out there understand that immigration is a really important thing for the success of the United States of America, that immigration is good, that the idea that people who want to come to America and become Americans is what makes America successful, because it's been happening for centuries now. But the idea that you would want to seek out America and become American, let's define what it means to become American, because this BS at the southern border is not American. It's anti-American. It's America last. It's taking you and your tax dollars and saying, shove it up the back end because we don't care about you. And as we overspend and we overcommit the generations to come, we are going to import people here. Why? Because they think they're going to vote for them? That is America last. It is big leftist progressive government first. And remember, the people who worked in this activist division of the Democrat Party, they worship at the altar of government. They too believe that their rights come from God, but their God is big government. When Joe Biden, is he going to be speaking during our show?
I'm not sure.
Or if it's this evening. They're supposed to be there at the same time. And I think they should have a debate in front of the big wall that Donald Trump had built, that Joe Biden started building on because he got pressured to resume that. There's a lot of stuff developing. The first story is the government shutdown. Yes, there might be a government shutdown. This is our biannual. Does that mean twice a year? Or does that mean every 2 years?
Well, it could mean every other year or...
How is that possible? It should mean one or the other. If you say biweekly, that means if you get paid biweekly, that means you get paid every other week.
Every other week or twice a week.
I choose that one.
Yeah, full paycheck each time.
Are you sure?
Yes, it can mean both.
I was questioning because I did not know yesterday if moles dig for worms because Ryan made a bold statement. And it turns out my dad texted me and he was like, they love digging for worms. I was like, okay, Dad. Ryan wouldn't answer my question.
No.
But I'm asking you. Bi-weekly can mean twice a week or every other week.
Yes.
God dang it. I hate that.
I do too.
That can't be possible.
It doesn't make it clear.
It seems like something that in the majority of the times that you would use it would need to be explicitly clear. If you're told you owe money bi-weekly, don't you want to know what that means? If you're going to get paid money bi-weekly, don't you want to know what that means?
Yeah.
Why was I talking about? Oh, yes. We talk about government shutdowns twice a year, and we're back to it, and we're going to see what this Congress decides to do. And I, for one, hope that the House Republicans retain their spine and ensure action out of this president or out of the Senate, but I think maybe you're more likely to get it out of the presidency because the president, it really took a political catastrophe for the presidents to start paying attention to what's going on in the southern border, but we're clearly there. I want to see Mike Johnson push the pedal to the metal. And I'd be interested to hear what you think about it in case there's something he said there that I missed. So let's take a quick break. The YouTube live chat poll for today, Michigan votes today, right? That's happening today. Michigan is voting today. Michigan is a really consequential state in the general election. Rashida Tlaib, I think, is the one who's telling telling Michigan voters to not vote for Joe Biden, uncommitted, I think is the phrase, because she's trying to make a statement for Palestine. And so maybe Joe Biden has trouble in Michigan. That's big trouble for Joe Biden if he has trouble in Michigan. Nikki Haley and Donald Trump facing off in Michigan as well. When will Nikki Haley stop running for the Republican nomination? The YouTube live chat poll is, will Nikki Haley run third party if she loses the GOP nomination? What do you think? Let us know. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
I seek to cure what's deep inside, frightened of this thing that I've become. Gonna take a lot to drag me away from you.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan. My friend Stewie is waiting for your phone call or your text. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Reach out to Stewie and ask him about how he can help you with your home purchase. If you are in that lane where you've been looking, maybe you've already put in some offers and something hasn't materialized yet, Stewie's the best deal in the business. And if you've worked with other mortgage people before and you're thinking, yeah, I guess I'll just go with them again, just contact Stewie and say, I always go with this person, but I just wanted to see what Annie's always talking about with you and see how he can beat the other person's situation and understand that when you use a bagel loan, you pay zero in closing costs that other lenders will charge you for. Stewie is there to guide you through the process. He does business the old-fashioned way. You're going to be working with him. It's a family-owned and operated business, and he's one phone call or text away. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. That's ramp.com/free.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Let's listen in on a modern-day marriage proposal. The players lift their smartphones. The young man pledges his true love to the woman of his dreams. She accepts. They exchange kissing emojis. There are some hearts. Very nice. Well, look at this. He's putting his phone down. I don't believe it. He's got a box from Diamonds Direct. Well, now she puts her phone down. Oh, unbelievable. That, folks, shows how special a diamond from Diamonds Direct is. Two people have put their phones down. He slips the Diamonds Direct diamond on her finger. She kisses him. Human contact, ladies and gentlemen. Who knew a Diamonds Direct diamond was capable of revolutionizing the virtual universe? And look at this. Her phone is ringing and she's still looking at her Diamonds Direct diamond. Oh, what's next? Tweets from actual birds? Amazing things really do happen when you give her a diamond from Diamonds Direct. Come in today and see how we can help you download real emotion. Details, store hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Your love, our passion.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules.
Heroes Care is fulfilling their mission of serving military members in many ways. Brad Range here from the Annie Fry Show. Every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Heroes Care is offering free haircuts at the Mission Depot. Learn more and make an appointment at 971talk.com/care.
What is it that makes me just a little bit crazy?
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
My lungs checked out with x-rays. I've smelled the hospital always.
What's your 2024 agenda? Because I feel like we live in such crazy times that is one of the things I feel we hear less about.
Look, the 2020 agenda is to finish the job. For example, we're now in a position where we have the strongest economy of any major nation in the world, number one. We've got a way to go yet. Inflation is down, 880,000 manufacturing jobs. You know, we have 14 million new jobs. The unemployment rate is the lowest it's been for the longest time. We're building wealth for people. But we have to do more.
So he says his 2020 agenda after Seth Meyers, hard-hitting interviewer Seth Meyers. Man, I'm not joking. I forgot that he was on TV. I didn't know that. I don't think that he doesn't ever strike me as even remotely funny. He seems really hostile. I don't get the Seth Meyers thing. But maybe if I were looking for miserable company, I would check in more often. When Joe Biden is asked specifically about his 2024 agenda, the thing that is interesting about this question from Seth Meyers, and I don't think this is what people are talking about here. He says, what's your 2024 agenda? Because I feel like we live in such crazy times that is one of the things I feel we hear less about. That's not why you hear less about it, because it's crazy times. It's because no one's asking him, because nobody thinks he's actually got one. The agenda is no Trump. That's the agenda. They need nothing more. They don't even have to put effort or thought into what happens in 2025. How about 2026? What about 2027? What about 2028? Do any of those things matter? Am I right if Donald Trump loses the election this time that he could run in 2028 and be the same age as Joe Biden is now on the election day, if not very close? Isn't Trump 77 and Biden is 81? He'll be 82 at the end of November.
Yeah.
So on Inauguration Day, Joe Biden, on Inauguration Day of 2028, when Biden is no longer the president, should he win again, he'll be 82, 86. So maybe Donald Trump will run for president 4 times. Is that right? Is he 77 right now?
Well, he was born in 1946 on June 14th.
Yes, it's Flag Day.
So
it doesn't say how old he is. 46 minus 2. He hasn't had a birthday yet, so he's 77.
Yep.
So Seth Meyers says, what's your 2024 agenda? Because I feel like we live in such crazy times that is one of the things I feel we hear less about. Seth Meyers and your network, NBC, you've got a whole news network. Did it have to come to Seth Meyers' late night television for someone to ask the hard-hitting question, like, what do you want to do if you win? Really? If you haven't heard the answer to that question, reflect. When you're walking down the halls of NBC, ask questions to people there. You know what would be really good to find? What the heck does Joe Biden want to do if he wins again? What's the plan? What are we voting for? Because we all know what we're voting against, and it was enough last time. I don't know if it's going to be enough this time. Have you seen the poll numbers? Maybe we should have some type of positive outlook of what it's going to look like in the next 4 years should Joe Biden win re-election. Or, more to my conspiratorial philosophy, Joe Biden shouldn't talk about his next 4 years because those are ideas that if they need to replace Joe Biden, they need to be able to 2024 agenda, because I feel like we live in such crazy times that is one of the things I feel we hear less about. And Joe Biden says, look, the 2020 agenda is to finish the job. And then he goes on to explain what it is that he's going to do. I could make that mistake on this show. I could say 2020 instead of 2024 out of some old reflexive muscle in my brain that I'm thinking too far ahead and there are things that are filling in the gaps. In outside of the context of a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory, that just is a flub. Donald Trump could do that. Joe Biden could do that. I don't look at him saying 2020 there and go, oh my gosh, that's it for me. This guy doesn't have it. He's not sharp. He can't be the There are a lot of other things that I can look at with this presidency and say, he's not the guy for the job. It's important from where I sit, maybe not, everybody's a critic and I understand that. But Brad, when you talk for 3 hours a day, if you're the president and you're doing your job, you're talking for more than that.
Yeah.
It would be very easy to interchange 2024 and 2020 in an interview.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like I would do it. But again, like you said, it'd be very easy to do it. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have decline issues or things aren't just popping in his brain randomly. But you could excuse that one.
Individually, I think it's an absolute, total, bitter, nothing burger. In the context of what we know of Joe Biden, that's what I keep saying, it goes in the file folder. The filing cabinet has a file folder called well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory, and this goes in that folder. When before the Her report came out, I think people see that and like, what? He said 2020 instead of 20. Everybody knew what he meant.
Yeah.
This is the position he's in, which is why when he goes out and stands in front of a camera, I'm going to be honest. When I was scrolling through and watching Twitter react late last night, and then this morning, and I first saw Joe Biden eating the ice cream cone, I didn't know what the press was asking him. I just thought he was eating ice cream. I didn't know it was like, so ceasefire. And he's like, and then talking about what he's going to do next. I didn't know. I saw that video like 3 or 4 times, but I'm laying in bed and Jared has the man trait of pillow. Okay, sleep. I do not have that trait because I am not a man. I think that's the only reason. And so I lay in bed and I'm scrolling and I'm trying to kind of prepare for the next day. And I see this video and then I'm scrolling and I'm like, oh, this video, like people are on this video. Okay, Joe Biden, old man's eating ice cream again, whatever. I didn't know that was Seth Meyers until this morning when I was listening, that he was the other guy in that video. I thought he was like Secret Service or something, or a handler.
Yeah.
Seth Meyers is standing over. I think that is the under-discussed part of the story, that he's standing next to the President of the United States while the President of the United States is talking about whether or not there's going to be a ceasefire to come in the Middle East. And Seth Meyers, his interviewer, is like just standing there like a buffoon, holding an ice cream cone, watching the leader of the free world eat ice cream while talking about ceasefires in the Middle East. Anybody understand the image problem about this? Like this is basic stuff. If this was a personal situation, if there was somebody who was in your family who just got a really bad diagnosis and you were waiting on information to tell you, like, what's the direction of this? It was incredibly impactful. And someone sat there and talked to you eating like licking an ice cream cone while they were delivering it. That would be insensitive to you. Yeah. Like, this is something that humans understand. I think that there's a part of politics that gets so pre-programmed and manipulated and staged all the time that maybe you sometimes forget how real humans are. But that looked like they're not even trying.
Right.
If Seth Meyers wants to do an ice cream bit with Joe Biden, then do the ice cream bit. But you make sure the President of the United States doesn't take questions from the press. He does that stupid thing where he's like old man shuffling in the scene or the stage or wherever they are. And then the press starts shouting questions at him. And this time he's got an ice cream cone. And he just kind of like slowly pivots the upper half of his body and looks over his shoulder a little bit like, who are those people? And then he pauses, listens to what they're shouting. And you can tell he's deciding like, am I going to go in on this? Am I going to answer this? And then usually it kind of materializes in some kind of off-putting ha joke. And then he goes away.
Yeah.
But he engaged this time.
He did engage this time, but he did do the ha off-putting joke on another one on another one of the questions that he answered, they were asking him about traveling to the border. And he's like, well, I was planning on going to the border on Thursday, but my good friend, and then he kind of cracks a smile. You can see him crack the smile, like, that was a good one. Looks around and is like, nobody's laughing. But I'm not going to answer whether or not I'm going to meet.
Yeah, and he said because Secret Service doesn't want people to know where he's going to be.
Like, he's going to be at the border, guys.
Yes, and Secret Service is going to be there, so don't start none, won't be none.
Secret Service is already there.
Yes, exactly, and they've been there, and they're scoping it out. I wonder if they had to make any changes at the southern border to make it safe for the President of the United States. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that in and of itself is the point. That smile that he does when he makes a joke, what did he say to that other press pool just the other day that was asking him about, maybe it was like a question about, is Kamala Harris ready to be president or something like that? And he engaged me. He goes, all right, yeah, okay, let's go, or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that was it. He responded with that,
it was Gavin Newsom.
Yes, that's right, about going to California.
Yeah.
He responds with this arrogant, cocky, just snotty attitude, but yeah, you want to go? Like the same thing he did when he said to Donald Trump he'd take him out in the alley, or if your family's being threatened, here's what you do: you get your shotgun, fire two. The shotgun thing is relatable.
Yeah.
But you don't stand for that. That's not the type of thing that Joe Biden stands for. And then he talks about taking people out in the alley and teaching them a lesson. And then he's always kind of got this cocky, arrogant attitude. You are a senile old man. You can't do that anymore. Unless you got everything else in order.
Mm-hmm.
And sir, you don't. You can't exude this type of confident arrogance because of the power that you wield in your office when you don't know how to wield the power of your office. And you clearly appear to be managed. All of this to say that I don't think him saying 2020 on Seth Meyers is a big deal.
No, there's no, but to your point though, or kind of like the other side of that point is it's just one more thing and just a larger picture. You know, we don't look at he said 2020 instead of 2024. We look at the shuffling, the arrogance, the bad jokes, the way he turns, the way he steps across the grass when he's walking to. We take in the whole thing, and then you tack on top of it, Robert. Is it Robert Hur, the Hur report, where he says juries will look at him like he's just a well-meaning old man with memory.
Poor memory.
Yeah. This is a whole thing. If jurors are going to look at that, if we're looking at that, we're seeing that, the world is seeing that. It's a compilation, and we're compiling all the evidences that we see of his decline, and we're adding it together. And like you said, it's just one more thing in the folder. But it could easily be excused with, he's just got a lot going on.
When Donald Trump is giving a speech, and he's talking about Joe Biden, and he's going off in a speech, and he's talking about Biden this and Biden that, and he says Obama administration, I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason I've done that. They're the same. In my mind, if I'm going too fast, the truth is that behind my lips and my tongue, there is an understanding that it's the same thing. And if I'm going too fast and I'm not picking my words, and shame on me for doing that, then I might say Obama instead of Biden. How many times have we heard the word Biden? People change mid-word. And they're not saying it intentionally. It's not meant in jest. It's that people just consider it to be the same thing. And part of this is on Joe Biden for not making any single kind of mark in his presidency that is signature to Joe Biden. Joe Biden has not, as a president, differentiated himself from Barack Obama in any possible way. The only distinct thing about Joe Biden is that he pulled off an inauguration over Donald Trump in January of 2021. That he was able to get to that point. That is the distinction, and will make him a hero, an American hero for a portion of people in this country who are also enjoying the rapid decline that has followed the January 2021 inauguration. At least we have the opportunity to rectify it. I sure hope we do. We'll see. I don't know specifically the time that they're supposed to be at the border and if they're going at the same time. But today is Michigan, and we will certainly be covering those results for you on 97.1 top to bottom. And I'm really looking forward to the time where Nikki Haley goes, okay, I've had enough. Yesterday or this weekend, there was the report released that the Koch brothers, is that Americans for Prosperity?
Yes.
Took their money away from
Yep,
her.
no money. They're still going to offer ground game and whatnot like that, but no money. They said that the path for there's nothing financially that they can do to widen the path for her to victory. They can't do anything more.
Yeah. She's not going to, is she going to win a state on Super Tuesday?
No, not a chance. I don't know what state she would win.
Get her on the show and let's find out.
I will ask her.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, make the request.
Yeah.
Make it so, Brad. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Wiggins America, the 5 most important political figures of the 2024 election, according to Ryan Wiggins and Real Clear Politics. We'll find out who those 5 are. Give us your guesses on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Come and join us. Just go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We're broadcasting live there as we do each day. And let us know who might be one of the 5 most important political figures of this election. Let's get Ryan in here. We'll be right back.
I gave the doctor my description. I've tried to stick to my prescriptions. Someday I'll have.
The Retirement Advisory Group. Oh, man, these are your people. You're nearing retirement and you understand, you're thinking, you're dreaming, you've been dreaming, but those dreams are getting close enough. That idea of travel, maybe going to see the grandkids, going to put up that greenhouse that you've always wanted to and take up some sort of new gardening feature. All of these things that are right there within reach. You got to make sure you make the right moves when you leave working and go into retirement. That's where Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw come in. They are the Retirement Advisory Group, and they're one phone call away. Your free sit-down interview with them, where you can ask them the questions, tell them where you are, has 0 obligation at the end. It's just a free information. It hurts nothing to make this phone call, set up an appointment, and see how the Retirement Advisory Group can help you. 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Call them. Tell them Annie sent you, and let me know how they work for you. I've had a lot of listeners reach out and say, thank you for connecting us. The last time I went to an event, 2 times ago, I went to an event with them. There was this elderly couple there, and they were like, we just appreciate so much what the Retirement Advisory Group has done for us that we wanted to come and attend. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
I know we're all busy. We're working, we're running errands, trying to take care of the kids. It's really easy to put things off. One thing you do not want to put off, though, your annual eye exam. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates not only gave me the most thorough eye exam I've ever had, but they're also experts in the diagnosis and treatment of all diseases of the eye. Everything from dry eye to macular degeneration and cataracts. Think about this. Your eye health is the window into your overall body health. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranja Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Berry, they can look at your eyes and even tell in some cases if you have early stage diabetes, heart disease, lung problems, even some forms of cancer. They're called the doctors' doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors. The best part about this is that most insurance plans cover the cost of your annual eye exam. Set up your appointment today, 314-966-5000. Again, 314-966-5000, or go to youridoc.com.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hi, Chad Hansen from Hansen's Tree Service. Since our friends in D.C. can't get inflation under control, I thought I would do my part by offering a 10% discount on all tree work performed now through March. Let us do the hard work this winter while you stay bundled up in your home. Check us out today at hansonstree.com.
Human trafficking is happening right here in Missouri. You can help combat it by learning the signs of human trafficking and reporting suspicious activity to law enforcement. Victims may appear malnourished, show signs of physical or mental abuse, or avoid social interaction. If you're a victim or know someone who needs help, contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 or text the word HELP to Be Free. Together, we can stop human trafficking in Missouri.
Brought to you by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
Today's YouTube live chat poll, will Nikki Haley run third party if she loses the GOP nomination? Yes or no? And then tell us why. It's the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Let us know. We'll give you the results at the end of the show. The time right now, 12:46. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
St. Louis's destination for questioning the narrative.
Your home for conservative talk.
This is 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
My sweater is on backwards and inside out, and you say, how appropriate. I don't want to dissect everything today.
How do you feel about Alanis Morissette?
I like Alanis Morissette. I didn't love her in the moment she was in, but the further I got away from it, the more I liked it.
Is it nostalgia?
It's partially. Yeah, but I mean, she had good songs too, though.
Oh, man. Jagged Little Pill, maybe. It's definitely in my top 5 albums of all time.
Yeah, it's weird
Really?
that she
Oh, yeah.
she releases this album, and it's her greatest hits album, but it's just an
Jagged
album.
Little Pill.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's had more albums than that. I've had other
She
ones.
has.
She's got some good songs. I don't know. She's just unique enough that to me, like, I hear it and I'm like, oh, I remember being 12 or 13 or 14 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I would have been early high school.
I think I was a 6th grader.
It's funny because you don't realize how many quotes come from her that you can just say and everybody knows it. Like if you go, yeah, I really do think.
Yeah.
Everybody knows exactly what that comes from.
Exactly.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! I love making a joke and then there's an awkward long pause where we wait for the open.
Hey, you leave me alone.
No, it's okay.
I lost the mouse on the screen.
Hunter has 5 guesses for your list.
Well, let's hear them.
Will you set us up and tell us what we're talking about?
Okay, so we're talking about the 5 most important political figures of the 2024 campaign, according to Real Clear Politics. It's a little weight behind that.
Number 1, JB. Pritzker or Biden? Probably Biden.
JB would be Joe Biden. Yeah, by the way, Joe Biden and Trump are not, they're disqualified from the list because they're too obvious.
But they're the 2 most important.
They would be number 1 and 2. Okay, so the top 5 outside.
This is the top 7.
Top 7, if you want to get technical.
With the assumed Trump Biden.
Hunter suggests number 2 is Kamala.
Well, I can't. Yes.
Number 3, he says Donald Trump, but we already put that out. Number 4, he just has listed as Donald Trump's VP.
Yeah, he's on the right track.
I wonder if he Googled this.
Yeah, I told you where
And
it was
number
from.
5, he has Chuck Schumer.
Ooh, now that's not bad. And that's one of the questions I'll have for you is do you think there's anybody that's not on this list? Because the first one that they say, and of course this is coming from Real Clear Politics, this is Tucker Carlson is number 5. So not number 1.
Did you see them? There was a report that the Ukrainians tried to assassinate him in Russia.
I have seen that report.
Is that
I don't know
wild?
what to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether that's been corroborated or if it's just some random guy who says, yeah, I put a car bomb on him. I have no idea.
Tucker's got a lot going on.
Tucker does have a lot going on. The article says that it's not necessarily about him and the VP whispers, which I guess are still out there, but it says that he is that big of an influencer. It says similarly, Elon Musk, which I guess they're just throwing him into the same category, widely respected with persuasive views, is followed by many folks. The latter gentleman,
I can't handle it.
foreign born, is not eligible to run for president or vice president, so he might be like Alexander the Great, weep over the fact that he has no more worlds to conquer. But they're saying Tucker Carlson is such a big influencer that he affects folks' opinion.
Stop it!
So much that he is the 5th most important political figure of the 2024 campaign. Agree or disagree?
He definitely has influence.
Yeah.
He also has no master to serve but himself.
That is what makes him dangerous.
In
So-
what way? In a bad way?
No, in a good way.
Well, you should clarify.
In a good way.
Because there are people who think Tucker Carlson is really dangerous, like maybe Ukraine.
Yeah, maybe Ukraine. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that story. That's one that I think in about 3 months you're going to find out it was either totally false or, yeah, they really were trying to assassinate him. Number 4 is not a person, but it is a third-party candidate, they say. There will be more than 2 candidates in the 2024 sweepstakes, certainly more than 3, and it seems sure that their roles will be more important than usual, which traditionally is to scratch the itches of single-issue voters. But in this election, they're saying the third-party candidate is the 4th most important political figure going into 2024. Agree or disagree?
A third-party candidate?
Nail in the coffin for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
A third-party
It's probably
candidate,
not the right
any
phrase.
third-party candidate, all third-party candidates. That's who they're saying.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. That candidate needs to be on the list because they will sway the election.
The YouTube live chat poll for today is Nikki Haley running third party if she loses the GOP nomination. And I'm going to tell you what, I spent at least 45 seconds trying to decide if I should say if she loses the GOP nomination or when she loses the GOP nomination.
And you went with if.
I went the nice way.
That is nice of
Go
you.
vote on the Any Fry YouTube channel. We will know.
Any thoughts about third-party candidates before we move on?
I don't know of anybody who would legitimately run for third party as a third party candidate that would hurt Trump.
I'm not sure either. But I do think that they belong on this list for sure. As in their influence in this election
But
could
this is
be
just
substantial.
this is third party
Just
in
third
general.
party, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, if RFK Jr. is on all the ballots or however many ballots, if he gets, it doesn't even matter if he's on all the ballots. There's about 7 states. Jill Stein did it with less than 2% in multiple places in 2016. So for sure, JFK is going to pull from people, and he's going to pull more from the left than he is the right.
I just looked up last night because I was curious to see how many states RFK is on. It's still just 1 right now. It's Utah, and they say he's only targeting 12. So they must be the important 12. We'll see. All the polls still include him.
So he's just targeting 12.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
he's not running to win.
Apparently not. I mean, that's what's weird. We'll see. We'll see.
It's probably actually just a really broad stance of normal in politics.
Yeah.
Like, he's just going the distance with the thing.
Yeah. Number 3, the most important political figures of the 2024 campaign, Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
His name is on this list, and they say it is inevitable that he would be on this list.
Like Thor. Not Thor. Thanos.
Thanos.
Not Thor. Oh, wrong one.
Like Thanos.
My Australian god of thunder.
When you said Thor, I thought you were going to say Thorn, because that is
And
his
his
role
side.
in the side of the current president.
Quick Rick said, so essentially, Annie, you're saying that no third-party candidate would steal a vote from DT? No. I'm just saying it's probably 2-1 goes against Biden.
Yeah.
I think that the net gain is Trump's and the net loss is Biden's.
I have a feeling we're going to have this conversation based on the poll today. And Nikki Haley being that person who could pull from Trump will be a conversation we need
Hold
to
on a
have.
second, because we didn't talk much about South Carolina. Why? Because it was a snoozer of a news story, and we've known what was going to happen, ended up happening. It is not realistic to dwell on the idea that there was it 40, 60, 50% or 60% of Haley voters, which was a little bit of them.
Yeah.
60%, was that the right number? Wouldn't vote for Trump.
Yeah.
That's like saying that you're in a family and somebody in the family, like there's a breakup in the family or something like that, and you ask like the day after you find out that somebody chose to support this person instead of that person. You're like, but are you going to support him in November? You can't ask that person that on the same day. That was her home turf. You don't know what's going to happen in November. By November, they might be like, oh, yes, we're all family. We're on the same side here. And yes, the alternative is utter despair with Joe Biden. You can't ask South Carolinian Nikki Haley supporters if they're going to support Donald Trump in November and then apply that to the rest of the country. That's dumb. Anyway, go on.
Number 2 most important political figures of the 2024 campaign, according to Real Clear Politics, Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
She does seem to hold that role, not just as vice president, but as a looming figure behind Joe Biden, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what's most important.
Just waiting.
Yeah, I mean, she is.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr.
A terrifying,
Obama.
echoey laugh in the background.
Outside, yeah. Like Joe Biden finishes the speech.
Biden does the old man turn to
And they
look
just
over
play.
his shoulder.
Uh-huh. Oh, by the way, I decided who the VP is going to be for Trump.
Yeah?
Yeah, last night.
Did you tell him?
I think he knows.
Oh, yeah?
Why do you assume it's a man? It's very
No, did you tell Trump?
Trump?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You did? Okay, so he's cool with it.
That's how she knows.
Do you remember me saying that Kamala Harris would be president or vice president? Do you, I don't know if you weren't on the show yet. I predicted that Kamala would be the vice president because she was the worst to listen to. It's going to be Vivek because I can't get past his delivery yet.
Ooh.
So it'll be an attack on me.
Well, that's number one, Trump's running mate.
Well,
There you go.
he will be a great running mate. I will have to get over it. I'm pretty sure my ability to get over his constant he just needs to pause his sentences 4 words earlier. He always sounds like the end like he's straining. And he doesn't ever stop when there's a period. He goes into the next sentence. Why? This is brilliant. So you have to listen to the next sentence.
Yes, you do.
Check it out, folks. Am I over analytical? Yes. Jim Carafano next.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Window World. I'm excited to be talking to you about Window World once again. They are one of only 2 windows with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval, but there are a lot of things that go into Window World being a super smart decision for your window replacements. When you are shopping for Window World, you can call them at 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800, or find them at windowworld.com. Any questions that you would have, or if you're just looking for a free in-home estimate, you reach out to them, give them a call, or visit them at windowworld.com, and they will set you up wonderfully. They have quality windows that you can rely on, that come with a lifetime warranty covering all parts, glass breakage, and labor. They use a double-strength glass that gives it a strength not traditionally used in replacement windows. These are the windows that are simply the best. Yes, for less. 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800. It's Window World, online at windowworld.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
We're on the same page on one issue. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Just days away from a partial government shutdown.
We're very optimistic. I hope that the other leaders came out here and told you the same.
We believe that we can get to agreement on these issues and prevent a government shutdown, and that's our first responsibility.
House Speaker Mike Johnson, after a White House meeting between President Biden and the top 4 lawmakers in Congress, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer also emphasizing the need to avoid a shutdown and saying there was good progress in the meeting. But he doesn't want Republican demands for tougher border policies to hold up a foreign aid package already passed by the Senate, especially funding for Ukraine.
There's a logic to solving the border. We want to solve it. But we have to do Ukraine right now because there's an await that can get done quickly because that has broad bipartisan consensus, and the border takes some more work.
The House Speaker calls the southern border a catastrophe and says he also met one-on-one with the president. President Biden plans to visit the southern border Thursday, the same day former President Trump will be there visiting a different part of Texas. It's primary day in Michigan, though former President Trump is already looking ahead to the general election.
He's teasing possible VP picks. He met with South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem at Mar-a-Lago yesterday, but former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is doing everything she can to stop Trump, or at least eat into his lead here. While Trump says the party is unified, she's making the case that's not true, and she says he's bad for Michigan.
They've now lost the governor's race, the governor's mansion, they've lost the state house, they've lost the state senate.
And on the Democratic side, President Biden is losing support from Michigan's Arab Americans and young voters.
Fox Business's Grady Trimble in Detroit. Progressives have been encouraging Democrats to vote uncommitted to protest the president's Mideast policy as opponents continue to call for a ceasefire in Gaza. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Windy and very warm, and there's a cold front on the way. That will be the trigger for scattered showers and thunderstorms going through the afternoon. 80 for the high today, 28 tonight as that cold front comes through. Scattered showers and thunderstorms during the evening hours. We have to watch the sky carefully, and even some snow possible after midnight. Wednesday, sunny, windy, and cold, only 39. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Mark Reardon Show Tour de Fish Fry continues. Join us this Friday at Incarnate Word Parish in Chesterfield, Missouri. Fish Fry Fridays continue. It's a Mark Reardon Show Lenten tradition. More information at 971talk.com/events. Hope to see you Friday in Chesterfield.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. That's ramp.com/free.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The vote is in. STL Today has certified the result. Onderlaw has been voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis.
When you're injured, call Onderlaw at 314 or 618-9000000.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. and hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Thursday, why did you order now this Thursday? You're going on Thursday. Why don't you now?
I've been planning to go Thursday. What I didn't know is my good friend apparently is gone.
And will you meet with migrants while you're there, Mr. President?
Well, I'm not going to announce ahead of time. Secret Service doesn't like me announcing exactly what I'm doing.
It's really amazing that the president doesn't have more to say about that while he was eating his ice cream with Seth Meyers. His priorities are clearly in order here. He's talking about going to the border, and then it turns into a conversation about Donald Trump. Is this surprising to anybody? It isn't to me. Let's talk to our friend Jim Carafano about it back on the Annie Fry Show. He is the senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, welcome back. Always good to have you.
So, look, I know we should just put this on tape so I don't have to keep saying it every time. I'm not political, right? I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm in a nonpartisan foundation. I don't do politics. But, I have to pay attention to politics because it does affect the foreign and domestic policies of the United States, which I do care about. I get I know there's a lot of rumors like, well, Biden won't run, blah, blah, blah. I think they'll run Biden. And I think they know there's a really good chance they're going to lose. And I don't think they care because I think their logic is, Trump's a one-term president. We'll do what we did last time. We'll attack him for 4 years. We'll say he's the great Satan and everything else. And, and then we'll win the White House back in 4 years. And I think that's their attitude. And the reason why I say that is when it comes to foreign policy, whether it's Ukraine or Israel or immigration and border security, why are they so reluctant to be decisive? And the answer is because you would say, well, Americans look at the immigration and borders because they go, this is a disaster. And I think the answer is that they don't care. Now so what you're seeing Biden do now is this kind of rope-a-dope on all these big issues. Blame the Republicans for immigration and border security, right? It's their fault the border's not secure. Blame the Republicans because we're not supporting Ukraine robustly. Blame the Republicans, blame Trump for everything. And it's the weakest, most pathetic kind of excuse or pretend that I'm actually trying to address what voters care about and fix problems. But I think the answer is I don't think their heart's really in this.
Man, that's quite a take because it's very difficult to look at their actions or their inactions and make sense of them because they don't make sense. And it's quite a gamble to risk the sovereignty and safety and security of the country so that you can acquire some more Democratic voters. Should they even become Democratic? There's a lot of people in Florida who have come from Cuba and come here and they love this country and they worked hard to become American and they value the difference of what this country is supposed to offer people versus where they come from. And, I don't know if they are on the whole super left-leaning. There's no guarantee that those people who are here right now are going to vote politically the way they need to. But everything that Joe Biden does is a reaction to turn it around to blame. The only outcome seems to be political.
Right. I mean, I think that's right. And it's just because you don't like what's going on doesn't mean you'll vote for the other guy, right? So just because it's high inflation and the grocery bills historically are the highest they've been in forever, and America's been humiliated more abroad than at any time since the end of the Vietnam War, doesn't mean you're going to vote for somebody else. And so their plan is demonize the other guys, make excuses, because, and this is the key thing, is they don't want to change policy. I mean, I think I've talked about this on your show before. We know for a fact that the Biden team negotiated with the president of Mexico. And we think the deal was they were going to help out a little bit at the border to slow some numbers down. In exchange, we're going to do some favors for them. And but it's all just theater. It's not actually about securing the border. It's just doing enough to say in the last couple of months of the year, oh, look, the numbers are going down. See, I am dealing with this issue. I'm fixing. And then they go right back out after the election if they win. If they lose, then they just blame Trump. And I mean, I think the same thing in the economy. They use the Fed. They try to get interest rates down. They try to make the numbers look good. And it's just to get through the election. It's, at least Jimmy Carter, God bless him. At least Jimmy Carter tried to fix the many disasters that he was confronted with, right? He knew he couldn't get reelected because his presidency was a disaster. So at least he talked about increasing defense spending, being more aggressive in the Middle East. Because at least he tried. Biden just pretends to try to fix the problem. Yeah. And right.
Jim, do you feel that Joe Biden is calling any of the shots?
Look, I believe that there is a liberal elite that has enormous influence over government. You just look at the roster of who's in Biden's administration. They're not Biden people, and I think this is really key. There are very, very few Biden people, and the people that are Biden people, just to be, unkind, but they're just useful idiots. Right? So no, I don't believe that Biden is driving an agenda that the elites want, and the exchange for that is, we'll make sure you're kept out of jail. You get to be president of the United States. And part of the reason why I don't believe they're going to run anybody else is they control Joe Biden. So why would they want to have another candidate who might actually think that if they won, that they'd actually want to be the president of the United States? And I believe Biden thinks he is running the country. I really believe that he believes that, and the reason for that is his whole political career. I think he thought that he actually mattered.
Yeah.
So this isn't any different. I mean, this is all really unkind, mean things to say, but it's not based on being an unkind, mean person, or it's just based on. Look, I as you know, I mean, I go all over the world. I talk to officials from governments. I talk to people in embassies. And nobody thinks that this administration is doing a great job. And they may not say that in public, but in private, they go half the country they can't get a meeting with the president. They can't. They don't. The National Security Council doesn't answer the call. It's not about gender ideology and green energy promotion. This administration's pretty much asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most obvious on the face observation, and there's really not anything they're doing to challenge the understanding that he's really got his hands on the wheel. The reason why I asked the question as to whether or not Joe Biden is calling the shots is because he's putting the pressure on the Republicans in the House, who have the very slim majority there to pass the spending bill. And I've heard you talk about the value of depleting Russian assets in Ukraine and doing that with dollars and not with human soldiers. And we know what's going on in the Middle East, and we want to be involved in a way to support our great ally there. But it's hard to trust somebody like Joe Biden or the people who are pulling the strings that we don't even know what their particular interests are to turn ourselves over and say, yeah, we'll support that too.
Well, look, I think that, they don't have a problem supporting Ukraine because it's just throwing money at a problem. They're always happy to throw our money at the problem. But there's a big difference between that and having a strategy, having an outcome for the American people. And like I said, there are reasons to support Ukraine. But the way Biden's doing it is the most lazy, unprofessional, haphazard thing imaginable. It's just the reality of it. And that doesn't mean, let's not do anything in Ukraine. I mean, of course we should do something because nobody, this is the thing is nobody wants the Russians to win. I mean, you go to any country, any single country in Europe, up and down the line, even countries that say, we should do business with, Russia. None of them want Russia to win in Ukraine. Except for Putin. Even there are probably Russians that don't even want to win in Ukraine. So, it's very, very frustrating.
Let me ask you about Putin, since you specifically brought his name up. There's kind of a trend right now, and a lot of times this is for clicks or for views or whatever it might be, that maybe Vladimir Putin isn't the bad guy, the monster that he's been made out to be. Maybe he's misunderstood. You know about these things. What do you think?
As somebody that's been tracking Soviet and Russian foreign policy and politics and military policy my entire professional life since I was a cadet at West Point, Putin isn't as evil a bastard as there is out there, and nothing has to change that. And it's, you may hate President Biden, how he runs the country and everything else, but the thing is, if it's the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It's not true here. Putin is an evil, genocidal, murdering creep.
Full stop.
And nobody should ever have a charitable. Now, you might want to fight Ukraine. I get that. You might not care. I get that. But you cannot create a narrative where Putin is anything but a guy who belongs in the seventh circle of hell. It's just the reality of it.
I love the clear and concise answer. Jim Carafano with us right now. Before I let you go, I want to ask you about the funding that is coming from the American taxpayer to Ukraine to push back against Russia. I know of maybe three buckets of people. Those who are like, fund everything in Ukraine forever, and it seems like they don't really care about what's going over there. It's just a political statement. And then the other people on the other side who says, don't ever send another Lincoln penny over there because political. Right. And then there are people in the middle who are like, hey, we're spending way more money than we even have. I want to see what this is for, and I want to be able to agree to the spending for particular reasons. Why is it hard for us congressionally when we're saying, okay, we're going to dump this money into Ukraine to say for this, and we need receipts?
Right. Yeah. Well, I think it's perfectly reasonable and responsible. But look at the situation. Look, I mean, when we've talked about Republicans were kind of too clever by half, right? They said, okay, we don't like how the spending is going on. I mean, and so we're gonna say no money for Ukraine unless we secure the border. Well, here's the problem with that deal. There's an old saying, never take a hostage you aren't willing to shoot. And what that means is nobody will take a threat seriously unless you're willing to follow through on the threat. So to tell Biden, if you don't fix the border, we're not going to fund Ukraine, the reality is Biden could care less. If you guys don't fund Ukraine and the Russians win, I'll blame you.
Yeah, politics.
So, and Biden, let's be honest, Biden does not want to fix the border. So, but here's the thing. Look, just because I've been around these yahoos forever, my guess is, there's going to be a funding package for Ukraine. There'll be one more before the election. Because in the end, nobody wants to pull the trigger. And the thing is, I know people say, well, just shut the damn government down, but the reality is none of these guys had the leverage to really drive real change. And this is, I think, the thing that people have to understand about the loyal opposition. You cannot drive change in the opposition if you have no leverage. And the purpose of an opposition is primarily to make clear to people how you would govern if you were in charge.
Yeah. That's well said. And unfortunately, we have, as Americans in this great country, the opportunity to weigh in on that in November. I will see how that goes. Thank you, Jim. We always appreciate you. We appreciate you coming on. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Senior counselor to the president, which he emphasized last time he was on, is not President Biden. He goes, what if they think I'm advising President Biden? No, that's not what we're talking about. The president at Heritage. And E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. Great to talk to Jim Carafano. And I love the clear and concise answer from somebody who I know follows these things very closely about Vladimir Putin. I've been wanting to ask him that. I think I haven't talked to him for maybe a couple weeks. I've been waiting to ask him that question. We are watching right now as the Fani Willis trial has resumed. We got our ears on it. Brad's been listening to it, and he says what you said before, they're just objecting to everything.
Yeah, they're objecting to everything, and the guy that's on the stand right now is Terrence Bradley. He's Wade's former divorce attorney and also
partner.
And law partner, and he's doing everything in his power to not answer the questions.
So he's a good lawyer.
Yeah, so he's
And
doing
maybe a
exactly
good
what you would
witness?
expect a lawyer to do. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of I'm not sure, I can't give you an exact time, that sort of thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're not going to air it unless it gets real spicy. And then if Fani Willis shows up and sits in the stand, we're going to break into coverage and bring that because that didn't disappoint last time. I mean, it disappointed in the most gross, awful, legal, expectational kind of way for the people who are representing us in our elected offices. But from an entertainment standpoint, she definitely brought it.
Yeah,
in
those
that
are
event.
fireworks.
So we are going to watch this and keep up with this. But when we come back, we're going to speak with Robert C. Haley. He is the chief pollster and the founder of the Trafalgar Group, friend of the show. And we're going to talk to him about Michigan. Nikki Haley, she got a chance anywhere? I mean, that's the question I keep asking. Is there a Super Tuesday election that she can win? Maybe I've missed one. We'll have Robert C. Haley on when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Fry Show.
Shopping at Ruler Foods is where we go to save money. I encourage you to find the Ruler Foods closest to you to save money. Every time you grocery shop, you need to be able to put more in your cart and less out of your wallet. Save on some really great protein opportunities for you right now. They have Heritage Farm chicken leg quarter sold in a 10-pound bag, 49 cents a pound. Enjoy a Kroger pork loin chop, 5-count, or home-style beef patties, 4-count, $5. And complement those with some russet potatoes, Kroger russet potatoes, 10-pound bag, $2.99. Shopping at Ruler Foods is simple. If you haven't enjoyed the opportunity to go see what Ruler Foods is all about yet, I encourage you to stop by and just check it out. Go find one. Go there to get a treat or something like that. Something you wouldn't normally get at the grocery store, just to see what Ruler Foods is about. Not your whole grocery store bill. Just go see what the Ruler Foods hype is about and understand why the Fry family shops there to save and why many other Annie Fry Show listeners have as well. The ad that they have for extra savings is online at rulerfoods.com. The location nearest you is online at rulerfoods.com as well. rulerfoods.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle and joint pain, For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
We're entering remodeling season. If you've considered new windows, let me recommend my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here. Here's the great thing about Window World. Not just the preferred window of our hometown St. Louis Blues, they're now the official window of the world champion Kansas City Chiefs. So if you're considering replacement windows, this is the company you want to work with. I'm a satisfied customer. I've got 2 other windows in my master bathroom. We couldn't be happier with those. They have a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, all the glass breakage and labor. There's a reason why in just over 20 years of business, they've improved the look and thermal efficiency of 72,000 plus customers in the greater St. Louis area. A Window World is fantastic. The windows are so durable. Not only do they stand behind their windows, at the showroom, they actually stood on a window right in front of me. You're going to love it. 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800 or windowworld.com.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 800 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code 800. LumeDeodorant.com, code 800 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. Love it or return it for free. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 800.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Missouri Congressman Jason Smith.
This border crisis was all created by his name. We've had more illegals cross the southern border in his first year in office than all 4 years of Donald Trump combined.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Don't you blink, you might miss it. See, we got a right to just love it or leave it. You find it and keep it, because it ain't every day you get the chance to say, oh, this is how.
I am telling you, there will be a female president of the United States. It will either be me or it will be Kamala Harris. If Donald Trump is the Republican nominee, we will see a President Kamala Harris. There's a reason the Democrats are salivating at the thought of Donald Trump, because they look at it and they know anybody could beat Donald Trump.
If Nikki Haley is saying that there's going to be a female president and it's going to be Nikki Haley or Kamala Harris, it ain't going to be Nikki, like pretty much what she said, that's a terrifying prospect. Nikki Haley and Donald Trump facing off again today in Michigan. Joe Biden also in Michigan trying to get the votes of the Democratic Party there. And some of his Democratic congressional, I would say, colleagues of sorts are encouraging people to vote uncommitted because they don't like the president's stance on the ceasefire and everything that's going on in the Middle East. How is this primary season shaping up? Well, we go to an expert pollster, Robert C. Haley, on the Annie Fry Show. Once again, he's the chief pollster and founder of the Trafalgar Group. Robert, welcome back to the show. We always appreciate having you here.
Hey, it is always good to be on your show, Annie.
Thank you. I want to give you an opportunity to kind of set the table for us about any trends that you're noticing for the Republican Party or the Democrat Party. Specifically, it's very difficult to understand why Nikki Haley is still in the race. Maybe there's something that we haven't seen that you're seeing that makes sense why she's still in. Seems like it's Trump's.
All right, so you're asking me to make sense of what Nikki Haley does.
Yes, please.
I am from South Carolina originally, and I will have to tell you, even that being said, I have no idea what she's doing. It is fascinating to me to do any of what she's doing right now. None of it makes any sense.
You know,
and
I was just going to say, when I was watching the returns come in from South Carolina, there were people who are hyping the percentage of voters that supported Nikki Haley that wouldn't support Donald Trump. And I thought it's probably not fair to take South Carolinians and their feelings about this issue and apply it across the 50 states.
Well, first of all, the story the media wasn't telling you is 20% of the people who voted in the Republican primary were not Republicans.
Really?
Haley turned out about 20% Democrat and what we call swing voters that traditionally don't vote in presidential preference primaries. And because the Democrats they usually average around 400,000 in their presidential preference primary. And this time they only had 175. So she had 225,000 people to play with. And I have examples of mail pieces and television ads and everything sent targeting those Democrats to vote. A friend of mine was ironically checking the mail for his neighbor who's a Democrat and got a copy of it. I was like, look at this. This is what they're sending out. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So they made a really big effort of turning out Democrats. And frankly, as she turned out more, she could have gotten closer because the Republicans did not hit that high watermark of 755,000 that they set in 2016 with Trump. But no, so first of all, when you say wouldn't vote for Trump, all right, well, the 20% of those are Democrats. Okay, so now we're starting to be down to just those few kind of never Trump Republicans, and a lot of them say that and they're voting for him, and then some of them won't. But those people who ended up with Biden, who will probably vote for some kind of a third party because they don't want to vote for Biden either.
You know, I'm glad you brought up third parties because we have a poll question that we very scientifically ask our YouTube audience every day, wondering about Nikki Haley's possible run for a third party. Do you really feel like there's a third party candidate that will be on the ballots that can make an impact on the Biden-Trump question?
Absolutely. So look at this. What is the difference between 2016 and 2020? The answer is Jill Stein. The very small percentage Jill Stein got in those swing states was greater than Trump's margin of victory. In 2020, there wasn't anybody taking up votes like that. So if you really didn't like Trump and you really didn't like Biden, you probably just vote for Biden.
Yeah.
Give them anywhere else to go, and I'm telling you, it benefits Trump.
Is there an instance where a third-party candidate, anybody you've heard talked about or discussed that could get in that would hurt Trump more than Biden?
There's some who argue that RFK Jr. could hurt Trump more than Biden. I think he'll take some from Trump, but he'll take more from Biden. So I don't think there's any candidate who could disproportionately take more from Trump than Biden. No.
Okay.
And the other thing you have to consider is Cornel West is out there. Guy has tremendous credibility. He's probably going to be on the ballot in a lot of these swing states. And with the no label thing, if it comes together, all this is places for people who don't like Trump and don't like Biden to go. And all those people ended up in Biden's column last time.
We're speaking with Robert C. Haley. He's the chief pollster and founder of the Trafalgar Group. You can check them out online and learn about some of the different things that they're polling. Where is your greatest interest right now? It seems as though Joe Biden's going to be the nominee, at least through the primary season. Donald Trump seems to be the nominee for the Republican Party. Where do you see impact areas that could maybe move voters one direction or the other?
You mean issues?
Issues, yeah, certainly issues.
Obviously, the border is a tremendous issue, and we had the horrible event that happened in Georgia, and unfortunately, that's not going to be the last time that kind of stuff happens. and God forbid we have some kind of a major terrorist attack or something from some of these people who are in America. But I think all this border stuff is just going to come down on Biden like a load of bricks. And they, if the Republicans do their job, and that is a big if, but if the Republicans do their job, there ought to be drone footage flying over, looking at those pieces of wall sitting there rusting and rotting, because that right there is the difference between Trump and Biden. That's the wall Trump tried to put up. That's the wall Biden stopped from being put up. So that's a big. So put that image out there. Also, what's going on overseas with these wars? I mean, this talk France had about sending troops into Ukraine. I mean, that thing could escalate fast. And if we start having countries send troops into Ukraine, we got a whole different ball game over there. And now NATO's gotten involved, and Russia may not feel the same, avoidance that it does now, staying out of NATO countries. Obviously, when you look at what's going on with Israel, I mean, this, we're getting to that really tight circumstance. When you get into Ramadan, things are just it's a different ballgame over there. And so, I mean, they're talking about doing an offensive during Ramadan. I'm just telling you that has all the tenets of something that could go badly. Because we really don't need that to turn into a wider war. We really just kind of need that settle down a little bit. Yeah. And so that's a scary prospect over there. And so there's tons of things that happen. I mean, I look at there'll be more and more of these electric cars that are stacking up that nobody wants. And inflation is continuing to rise. Interest rates keep you from be able to move up into a new house, and there's just all these things. The economy is not like the border affects everybody. What we found in our polling is people who are doing good don't worry about the economy, but there's a lot of people who are not doing well. I mean, these people aren't doing well at all, and those people, that's all they think about. The kind of people putting a can of beans on a credit card, those people are centrally focused on the economy. And so I think that we'll see that play a major role, and I really hope that we don't have any kind of nonsense out in the Pacific area to add to this mix of things.
Last question before we let you go. Robert Nikki Haley with the Trafalgar Group here on the Annie Fry Show this afternoon. People I question myself, if Joe Biden's going to be the guy on the ticket in November. Do you know a very favored second place person, a replacement for him? Does it have to be the VP? What's your research?
Yes.
Has to?
I can tell you this. If I were a Democrat, and I mean, if I was legit a Democrat and wanted to win, I would rather lose a presidential election than lose the loyalty of black females. And if they skip a black female when it's her turn, that's the kind of stuff that will devastate that party. And so, you cannot be in a party that lives on identity politics and then just jettisons it when it becomes inconvenient, which the same could be said for Nikki Haley. She gives this great speech about how she doesn't believe in identity politics. By the end of the speech, she's done nothing but talk about how she should win because she's a woman.
That's true. Yes. The female factor for her and her repeated line, a brown girl in a black and white world, or however she says it, she's leaned very heavily into that identity. She must feel
let me just tell you something. For those of us in South Carolina who know her, let me just put it to you this way. Where she grew up, there's the public school that only the poor people get to go to, which is predominantly black. and there's a private school called what today was called Orangeburg Prep. Where do you think Nikki Haley went? She went to Orangeburg Prep.
Yeah.
Don't buy any of that nonsense.
Robert C. Haley, thank you for coming on the show with us. We always look forward to the latest polls that you have, and we'll connect with you, I hope, many times between now and November 5th.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all take care.
You as well. Bye-bye. Y'all take care. I love that. Chief Pollster and founder of the Trafalgar Group. A lot of nuggets in that conversation there with Robert C. Haley. The Trafalgar Group I want to make sure, org is what it is, so go check it out online. The Trafalgar, that Trafalgar is all A's. Let's take a quick break. Ryan coming back in studio. We got our eyes. Have you been listening in a little bit to the hearing here?
Yeah, a little bit.
Any dramatic?
So no fireworks, but it seems like the first part of the testimony was, I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
And then
good witness.
Then she's bringing up, the attorney is bringing up, well, you signed off on all these documents saying that they looked good. Why did you say that? And now you don't remember?
Oh. Yeah, so if you're going to watch a trial, you have to know it's going to be a bit long form because the questions that you ask in the beginning must have something to do with the questions that you ask in the end. We got our ears on it. We'll be back with Ryan in just a minute. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Than the sun. Everything is like a whiteout.
Well, I'm looking right now at igotfloor.com, and I see that they have a March into the season with new flooring. Order 3 samples and a code there on the website so that you can save now. michaelsflooringoutlet.com or igotfloor.com. Reach out to them and start the conversation so that you got a good idea of what your budget can get you, because you don't want to sacrifice quality for value. I know there are a lot of places out there and they'll advertise the lowest prices. You usually get the lowest quality with that, and you know that already. You're in a place where you want to put the beautiful flooring in that your home deserves, that you have worked hard for, and you want a place that is going to deliver on that quality. But you also don't want to have to pay more for it than necessary. They care about value at Michael's Flooring Outlet, and they are there to make sure that your shopping process is a smooth and simple one. igotfloor.com is the website. You can go to the request an estimate and see how you can save as spring approaches. You can shop that Mohawk Smart Strand carpeting line. I have talked about this before, but I cannot wait to put in fresh carpeting in the upstairs of my house, and I'm just waiting for my kids to grow out of ruining things. Does that happen? When does that happen? When they move out? Or do they do that when they come back home again? And I want them to come home again. It's a conundrum. If you're looking for flooring, find them online at igotfloor.com.
Hey homeowners, it's time to transform your house into a masterpiece with Lakeside Renovation and Design, your James Hardie siding experts. Picture this, durable, weather-resistant siding that doesn't just protect, but elevates your home's value and curb appeal. James Hardie, the gold standard in siding, installed by the pros at Lakeside. Say goodbye to maintenance headaches and hello to a home that stands the test of time. Ready for a siding upgrade? Lakeside Renovation and Design is your go-to. Visit our showroom or call today. Unleash the potential of your home with James Hardie Siding.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house, and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years. Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO. Easy to remember phone number. Or go online today at 877-25rhino.com.
The people have spoken. I want to thank you, St. Louis, for voting Under Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9 million. Okay, I'm ready to record my jewelry store's new radio spot. We got a great script that really goes after Diamonds Direct and how they're nothing special and how we can match their price. Great stuff. Yeah.
Great. And we have this new technology that bleeps out any false claims, so it saves us time with editing. So you can start anytime.
Okay, here it goes. When you visit our jewelry store, we'll absolutely guarantee direct. Our diamonds come straight from the mine. We have cutters and Hey, what the?
The hard truth is that other jewelry stores simply can't do what Diamonds Direct can. Diamonds Direct has special relationships with De Beers, international connections, and virtually unlimited buying power. The result is true direct importer pricing, exceptional quality, and up to 30 times the diamond selection you find at other stores.
I can't believe this thing won't let me say
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get more truth at diamondsdirect.com.
Robert C. Haley said, I don't know what she's doing. Will Nikki Haley run third party if she loses the GOP nomination? That's the subject of today's YouTube live chat poll. Yes or no, type in Annie Fry. When you go to YouTube, you'll see not only the stream, but that poll come up. You can vote in it. We'll give you the results at the end of the show. It's 1:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Information with perspective on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk. Everyone is welcome.
Double wide quick stop, midnight T-top, Jack in her cherry coke town. Mama and Daddy put their roots right here, 'cause this is where the car broke down. Yellow dog school bus, kicking up red bus, kicking us
This
up
is the
by
Annie
Bob
Fry
Rock
Show.
MTV
Follow Annie on
the
Twitter
RCA,
at Annie Fry Show.
AC in the Venice. We were Jesus save me, blue jean baby, born in the USA. Trailer park truck stop, faded little map dots, New York to LA. We were teenage dreaming, front seat leaning, baby come give me a kiss. Put me on the cover of the Rolling Stone, uptown, down home, American kids. Rolling up in little pink houses, making out on living room couches, blowing that smoke on Saturday night. A little messed up, but we're all
there
right.
any part, I'll ask you, Ryan, and then Brad, since you're newer to the industry.
Brad
is newer.
Yeah.
You've been in this industry for decades and decades and decades.
It's weird because I'm so young.
Yeah, you are the person who Joe Biden was talking to about putting the records on at night.
I actually still
do.
Do
you remember like
Girl, put
producing
your
the
records on.
fireside chats
Yeah.
from FDR?
I don't remember all of them, but I was too young.
Yeah.
No.
I haven't asked my question yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was just about you.
That
being
was just the
old.
lead-in.
Yes. When I'm listening to a song like that, I have to let it play through. It'll bother me if I don't get to the hook, so to speak, of the song. Steve thinks it's too long sometimes, but I have to hear it. I want it. I want the people listening to be able to have that completion. Do you think should it just be like 5-10 seconds in and then get to the, like, we should be good enough on the show to be better than Kenny Chesney?
So you're asking me as an industry expert?
Yeah, that's why you're here.
Yeah, okay.
Somebody's got to elevate the show, and
no.
it's you, Ryan Wiggins.
I hear that. But no, the answer is no. The answer is it's better when it's varied. It's better when you have no idea when you're going to come in.
When you don't know.
Yeah.
Because then you got to listen.
Because sometimes, you just want to get to the point, and that's great. Other times, the music is a part of the show. It's a part of the entertainment. So you do kind of want to let it play out sometimes, and sometimes like way long. Because if you get too far into a song, and this is all like psychology, you get too far into a song, and then people start to go,
Are they there?
Wait, what's happening? You know, so
Annie's
once in a
passed out on
while,
the floor, and they're trying to revive her. Listen to see what happens next.
it's the same thing when TV, once in a while this will happen on TV. Live news is really the place where it would happen, where they cut to somebody and they don't quite know they're on yet.
Oh, yeah.
And I never pay more attention than when in that moment, like, are they going to say something they shouldn't?
It's like a butt dial.
Yeah, and you're like,
You've never
what's
paid
happening?
more attention to anything than the person in your family or whatever that butt dials you, and you're like, are they going to talk crap about me? You're listening,
Yeah.
and it's just a bunch of like,
It's
yeah.
And then,
Annie's
like-
my favorite person in the world. And you're like, gosh, dang it, that's not what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
I wanted the tea.
We're going down to Market Basket.
Have you ever butt dialed your significant other or whatever so that you could hear what the butt dials and then heard the conversation that you and your significant other were having? And it's just like a mundane drop-in listen of your life that normally you're participating in. Have you ever done that?
Wait.
So, like-
Explain this how this happens.
So, like, for instance, on my phone, on the bottom here, I have a button that automatically calls Jared.
Okay.
I don't have that for you.
Okay. Good.
Right?
Yeah. Right. So,
But it would be very easy for me to specifically call Jared more than anybody else.
Mhm.
I could call him. He doesn't answer. It goes to voicemail. Maybe I think this happened to me one time when we were on a road trip to a sports tournament. And so I recorded whatever like the 3-minute max of a voicemail is. And it was just us sitting in the car together, talking every 3 miles about something. And I felt like I was eavesdropping on something, but it was me.
Yeah. Okay, I get what you mean.
And it's like, this is what we sound like? Does that ever happen to you?
Yes. Yeah, in the mundane sense, it actually is kind of entertaining to hear what am I like when I'm not paying attention to anything and this is just what's happening.
Yeah.
So I get that. I will tell you a really neat story, though. A friend of mine in our church accidentally, and I don't remember if it was a butt dial or how it was recorded, but it was during a worship service, accidentally recorded the room just from his pocket.
Oh, could you hear people singing and stuff?
And you could hear people singing, and the person standing next to him was a guy, I'll say his name. His name's Chris.
Oh, you've really outed him now.
Yeah, I know. People are like, uh-oh.
Not
he said Chris.
Chris.
So
Name's Jedediah.
Yeah. So Chris, it was a great big guy, and he had a real deep voice. And so when he sang, you knew it was Chris singing. Well, Chris, unexpectedly, he was only about 55. He died a couple years ago.
Oh.
And John, who recorded this in our church group, forgot that he had done it. He was scrolling through, found it one day, and he went, and he didn't delete it. So when Chris died, he remembered that he had that, and they played it at his service.
Ooh.
They had a recording of Chris singing worship songs.
Yeah.
And not trying to. That's what was so neat, is that he was just right there in a pew or whatever, or seats, just singing a song, and they played. It was a good 2 minutes that he had. It was amazing.
Man, that makes me weepy.
I know.
Brad, have you ever heard yourself in a conversation with somebody that you didn't know was going to be heard later?
No, I haven't.
That's weird. I'll start secretly recording you.
No.
I've been. Yeah,
I'm
been
good.
doing
Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to air those in the 2 o'clock hour.
Yeah, it's going to be
I
great.
ain't
All the stuff
scared.
you say to Leah. Yeah, we've been recording.
I am who I am. I'm on the air.
Ryan's in his office, and you can hear it all the way down there.
Yeah, it's a lot of yelling.
Oh, you can hear us?
Mm-hmm.
The rage is...
Okay. Oh, we
just-
don't want to do the trash talk that.
It's actually Leah yelling at Brad.
Yeah, it's the other way around. We were all expecting it to be Brad being a real jerk. And then we found out, oh, no.
Leah's putting him in his place, whipping him into shape.
That would be awesome.
Oh.
Guarantee you that's going to become a video.
Do you? Yeah.
Not a chance.
There's a little chance. Brad, is this interesting right now? Not this show. I don't want to know
the
the real answer,
testimony. Well, no, it's like a question, and then like there's a formula to it. There's a question, then
I don't recall.
the Terrence Bradley's attorney will say objection, hearsay.
Let's peek in.
All right.
He takes a long drink first, most
It's
of the time.
it's the attorney for Wade on the stand right now.
Credit card one time. Do you know when that was?
I do not.
Drink.
Well, I think this would be impeachment of Mr. Wade's testimony if Mr. Wade testified that he had never used anyone else's credit card before.
I object to asked and answered because it was covered during the last year.
There it was. I don't know.
Mr.
I
Wade
object.
used his credit card.
That's right. Asked when.
And here's the drink.
I didn't
When, okay.
I didn't ask, did he? I asked, when did he?
Let's go there.
I do not have any dates
of when Mr. Wade used my credit card. I testified that we used the card for business, and that throughout the business we would order paper or supplies or filing of depositions. I mean, the cost factor of cases is what I said, and that still applies today. Did he use my credit card? He did, but I can't tell you who he used that card, what the trip was for. I can't even tell you at this time where he went.
But he used it for a trip.
Yeah, it was for a trip, but I can't tell you where, when, why.
So I specifically remember Wade saying explicitly, I've never used anybody else's credit card.
Oh, yeah.
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
He's like, have you used this? And he's like, he extra clarified, which I don't think you're supposed to do on the witness stand. He gave more information than was requested. He was like, I have never used anybody else's credit card. And what his lawyer, this is Wade's divorce lawyer, who was also Wade's partner, legal partner. They worked together. They shared resources. So what he just said there is that Wade definitely used his credit card and also for a trip.
And the amazing thing about credit cards is that I know he says he doesn't remember, he doesn't know where. There's a record.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to remember.
With a credit card, you can get those records real easy. You don't need the court to do it. You can just do it. And you can find out where the trip was and when, like almost instantly. It's amazing.
If I could sit in my living room without anybody around and curl up in a blanket next to my fire, well, not today, but maybe tonight, and watch all the details of this as it unfolds, I could go on like a 3-day straight bender of just watching this stuff.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yes. I won't, because I have a life. And my kids would be like, Mom, stop. That's what they say.
Well, all you'd hear is him going, well, yeah, I used my card, but he was just buying paper.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he was buying paper. We'll be right back.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Have your house hunting process start with Jen Teskey. If you're looking to buy a home on the Illinois side of the river, Jen Teskey and her team at RE/MAX Alliance are your number one asset when it comes to buying real estate. 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. The energy she brings and the knowledge that she brings to this equation is your leg up on everybody else who's out there looking for the house that maybe you're looking for, making sure that you get the best deal, that you get the best outcome, and you get the house that you've been looking for. Jen Teskey with her team at RE/MAX Alliance is the answer. If you're looking to list your home, if you have tried to sell your home before and it just didn't go well, it's because you didn't use Jen Teskey. 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. She's with RE/MAX Alliance, and the whole Jen Teskey team is going to be your team when you connect with them to get your house sold or to find your new home. JenTeskeyHomes.com.
Hi, Little Bob here. We're turning President's Day into President's Days, spotlighting new choices every day in February at Bob's Discount Furniture. You can choose from 12 $9.99 sofa love seat combos, $5.99 dining sets with tons of options, and 9 complete queen bedroom sets for only $9.99. Flexible financing options available. Subject to credit approval, ask for details. When you get a different choice every day in February, there's only one thing to say.
Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
If you're one of those folks who celebrates St. Patrick's Day like a national holiday, you need to meet my friend Grillmaster Tony. Mark Cox here for GrillmasterTony.com. He's got a St. Patrick's Day special of corned beef and cabbage and red potatoes and carrots, and let Tony do the cooking for you. Of course, he can also make a brisket, a hand-selected, ordered, delivered, wrapped, rested, hot, and ready to eat. You can order online right now at GrillmasterTony.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
No one wants a government shutdown. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's what both sides are saying after a bipartisan meeting at the White House, though it's still not clear how congressional leaders can address funding for Ukraine while also meeting Republican calls for tougher border policies.
The first priority of the country is our border and making sure it's secure.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says the House will address foreign aid in a timely manner and that he's optimistic about avoiding a partial government shutdown Friday. The Pentagon says there are no plans to send troops to fight in Ukraine, echoing what some European leaders are saying after the French president suggested it hadn't been ruled out. The U.S. Army plans to shrink to help make it more prepared, it says, for the next major war.
The slash is projected to be by roughly 24,000 positions, mostly among posts that are already vacant. Some of those are jobs that dealt mostly with counterinsurgency, which were staffed during the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. The Army, in its documentation, described itself as overstructured. The branch also notes a shift in focus to so-called great power competition, such as China and Russia, as well as ongoing threats from Iran and North Korea.
Fox's Gernal Scott, the restructuring plan also calls for adding soldiers in other critical missions, including counter-drone units and new task forces around the world with enhanced cyber intelligence and long-range strike capabilities. The jury is set to get the case in the first trial over the presumed murder of a Connecticut mother of 5 who went missing nearly 5 years ago during a bitter divorce and custody dispute. Her estranged husband was later charged but killed himself. The husband's girlfriend is the one on trial, charged with multiple counts, including conspiracy to commit murder, tampering with evidence, and hindering prosecution. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Windy and very warm, and there's a cold front on the way. That will be the trigger for scattered showers and thunderstorms going through the afternoon. 80 for the high today, 28 tonight as that cold front comes through. Scattered showers and thunderstorms during the evening hours. We have to watch the sky carefully, and even some snow possible after midnight. Wednesday, sunny, windy, and cold, only 39. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategy that has helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 38 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
windowworld.com. You visited them for your window replacement project that is coming up. You can call them for a free home estimate, and they'll show you how they are simply the best for less. Their products are not just durable. When you're going to replace windows in your home, chances are they're probably builder's grade windows that were put in originally when the house was built, and you have been losing efficiency for quite some time. They're probably not the fanciest. If you didn't pick them out when the house was built, they're probably not the fanciest windows that are out there. You can really upgrade the aesthetic as well of the windows and how your home looks with those new windows. They are durable and they offer security, beauty, and energy efficiency. All good reasons why many people do choose to upgrade their windows and to replace their windows. There's a lifetime warranty at Window World that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. Your phone call to 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800 could set up that free in-home estimate. Window World is there ready to take your call. Tell them you heard about them from the Annie Fry Show when you call 314-993-1800. Find them online at windowworld.com.
Victory Men's Health is making it easier than ever before to feel like your old self again. Mark Cox here from my friends at Victory Men's Health. Now they're offering telehealth. You reside in Illinois or Missouri, the process is easy. Just go to their website, pick the service you're interested in. Maybe it's semaglutide for weight loss or hormone therapy or micronutrient testing. Once you've made your selection and your results are in, they'll do a video telehealth consult to review. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Do you have multiple years of unfiled taxes or owe more than $8,000? The attorneys at Allies Tax Relief are your ally and will stop the IRS from garnishing your wages or them levying your bank account. Call 800-230-5174.
The events that shape this world are happening fast. Keep a level head and stay tuned to 97.1 FM Talk for Democracy 2024. The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Ladies, I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
And then COVID hits 10 years later, and the same agencies that knew that are the agencies that shut down the schools for 2 years. Who does that? Who takes away the support system for these children? Who takes them away and shuts it down? And by the way, when they shut it down, they stopped the mandated reporters from being able to see children that were being abused and sexually molested, and in fact sent them home and abandoned them to their abusers with no way to watch, and referrals dropped 50 to 60%. So
there was also a pandemic going on, and they were trying to save kids' lives. Remember, we know a lot of folks who died during this, so it wasn't people weren't laying around eating bond, but well, you know what? We're lucky.
Oh man! See, Dr. Phil goes into the snake pit of The View, and when Whoopi Goldberg says there are a lot of people who died. That is a phrase that we have heard quite a bit. There were a lot of people who died. When it comes to reflections on COVID, there were a lot of people who died. True statement. There were a lot of people who died. If we were being truly, genuinely honest people, we would want to get retribution for the people who died from this from its source. But that doesn't seem to be the big focus. How this manifested itself doesn't seem to be the big focus here. But what Dr. Phil is saying is that we have permanently affected a generation of children when we knew better. Whoopi Goldberg responds, but a lot of people died. And he says, not school children. And Whoopi's response is, we were lucky. There's no conversation point between the two of them there where they're exchanging information and thinking. Whoopi Goldberg has her point, her marching orders, and that is to defend everything that happened during the super restrictive regulatory efforts top down in this country where we were forced to participate in a specific way. It is very important that the left not give up the narrative that they did it right. What Dr. Phil is saying, we knew better, we did not do better. And it is going to hurt these kids as they continue to grow up. I have been talking to somebody I know who is serving in the Army, and there was a news headline out today that the Army is cutting back. I think it's 5% of the workforce, 24,000 jobs.
That's the number I saw.
The majority of those jobs are not currently occupied. But the truth of the matter is, we've lowered our standards for the military, and the people who are going, think about this right now, the people who are coming of age right now to sign up to go to boot camp, they'd have been, what, 8th grade, freshman year when COVID hit? How long were some of those kids kept out of the classroom? Was it 2 whole years?
It would have been close.
For some of them,
depending on the district, yeah.
Yeah.
The outrageous damage that was done politically to these kids for what? When Whoopi says, well, we were lucky. She's not listening in any way, shape, or form to Dr. Phil saying, we weren't lucky. We were wrong. And it's kind of crazy to me that the argument that Whoopi Goldberg is making is that we should have gone to any length to protect the lives of these children. That it's worth it to protect the lives of these children, and yet she would be at the front of the line to advocate for abortion. Like, the life becomes valuable when? We're willing to do what to protect and provide for this life when? Because I understand it's probably harder to advocate, just throw them all in school and see what happens. If they make it, they make it. But we knew better. There's a portion of time where we didn't know better. And we did what we thought we had to do. And everybody put their hands in the middle, and you didn't look if it was a blue jersey or red jersey. We were scared. We acted in fear, and we had a right to be afraid because it was scary. But what fear is the absence of information. You fear what you don't know. You can plan for what you do know, and your plan will mitigate your fear. And really, that's the essence of me. I talk about how I don't sleep and how I stay up and whatever. I'm also a worrier. I don't know if in 2024, if you would say I have anxiety because I worry. I have 4 kids. I pay attention pretty much every waking hour to the news. I don't know how I'm supposed to exist in this way and not have worrisome thoughts. And the truth is, this is a bit of self-psychoanalysis here. The truth is that I feed my pushback of worry with information. So if I'm worried about something, what I do is I try to understand it. Because if I understand it, then I can combat whatever it is, or I can prepare. If something's going to happen and it's bad, I can prepare for said thing to happen and know that, hey, if this happens, I will have done what I can to absorb that punch and be ready to punch back after I take it the first time. When COVID hit, we were right to be afraid. We started to learn new things, and there was a political pull to disallow Americans to seek out information that would help them educate themselves on what was going on. And the only way that you can educate yourself on something that's going on is to have discussions about it, is to put out into the world, this is what I think based on this research. Well, I think you're wrong, Ryan Wiggins. I believe ABC. And you say, no, it's 1, 2, 3. And then we talk about it. And maybe at the end, you and I completely disagree, but people have been able to consume what we're saying, and then they get to make their own decisions. Well, apparently that's like the most dangerous thing for our government to allow us to happen. They disallowed us. They canceled you. They ended your ability to have those conversations in social media. Government partnership with private entity communication decided what we were able to do and say. And so you get to 2024, and Dr. Phil can say, you can scientifically show how we hurt our kids because we knew better and we didn't do better. And Whoopi Goldberg's response is simply, we got lucky. Nobody gets lucky. You only get lucky if you didn't prepare.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they're just talking past each other. No point that he's making is she acknowledging or addressing even. When you talk about schools, though, the scary part of COVID was March through maybe April, May of 2024.
Kind of when it started to get warm.
Of 2020, yeah. I said 2024. Yeah, exactly. When we get into summer, by then you had 3-4 months of data. By August, when kids were going back to school, what became scary was less COVID and more the response to COVID that the government had hijacked. And it was extreme and it was dystopian. And I am so glad that Dr. Phil, of all people, is out there bringing this issue back up now, because this is one of the most important things that has happened in our lifetime. And it should be front and center the way our institutions responded to a crisis in the moment, how badly they did across the board, because it was government mainly, but it wasn't just government. It was institutions.
Yeah.
All fell in line for this because of the word you just said, because of fear. They said, I'm going to give up everything and trust the institutions, which did not lead well.
Yeah.
And actually did worse damage than they did help.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because that reminded me, because like one of the things when we were in the midst of this is I'm like, this is really revealing who is competent and who is not. And way more people in government and in our industries and in these institutions were revealed as incompetent than I had ever dreamed would be. Like, there's going to be some. I didn't think there'd be this many, and I didn't think they'd be in such high positions. But the other side of that is, too, one of the things that's really important then is to be able to look back at what we did now with a sober mind and understand this is what worked, this isn't, and that way we can make adjustments for the future and the next time it happens. Is this even viable, or are we just adding on to the pain that we did that will come from the naturally by doing these mitigation measures that they put out there and stuff like that? We have to be able to be honest with ourselves on this didn't work. This was not helpful to these children. But what we're seeing with lines like Whoopi Goldberg, well, she said, well, we know a lot of people that died. And Dr. Phil's response was, but not children. So Dr. Phil looked back at the data and he said, yeah, but we didn't have a lot of school children dying from this. That's important to note, because the next time something this goes around, we need to pay attention and then act accordingly.
When I was speaking with my friend who's in the military, he educates through the Army. He says that it's very obvious that the COVID generation of kids that he should be getting right now, they're not kids anymore. They're young men. They're just not there.
That sucks.
I reached out to him because I wanted to know about if this affected him in any way, and I think it affects us all in a certain way. But lower standards and COVID, once again, it's going to be something that I think we will see I think this will be like a COVID generation, and it's going to be probably a window of 6 years of kids. No, that's not true. I would say if you were in maybe third to fourth grade, especially definitely fourth grade, maybe going down to third grade, through probably the first 2 years of high school or college, I mean, you will be able to remember how dramatically disrupted your life was. Our lives as grown people, working people, were disrupted. But we knew I would say I've completely gone back to normal.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything in my life. I'm trying to make sure that's not a statement that I have to retract. I don't think there's anything in my life right now that I was like, I'm going to hold on to that.
from the COVID era. Like there's nothing that's still affecting you.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I can't think of anything either.
I don't have a hand sanitizer addiction. I don't like every once in a while a mask will show up if we're cleaning behind a cabinet or something like that. And I'm like, throw that thing away. Throw it away.
Yeah.
I don't think that anything has. So it was, I remember asking like, will we ever go back to normal? And I didn't know if we would. And as an adult, yes. But that if we go back to normal, that means we had established normal. Those kids didn't. Those kids came of age in a time where normal was disruptive for such a huge percentage of their known lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And they missed out on things that we will never have to have missed out on. As children, they missed their proms. They missed their DC trips. My daughter was telling me, somebody said something about field trips, and she missed the trip to go to the Busch Stadium. Like, because I think my son was going to go and my husband was maybe going to try to go with him or something like that. And I said to my daughter, I'm like, oh, did dad go with you to yours or whatever? And she goes, no, we didn't get to go. That was COVID. So she never got to go to Busch Stadium. Is that a huge life-changing thing? No, but it's something that she remembers. She connects the two. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch did a story, and the article is St. Louis area Lutheran schools stayed open during the pandemic. Now they're thriving. I cannot stress enough how important it is to consider an alternative to the public school near you for your child or for your grandchild. I cannot stress enough watching and observing the direction that the public school systems in our area, but of course across the country, the direction that they are using your children as little test kitchens for their political advocacy. It's not every public school district, but it is a lot of them. To strongly consider an alternative for your child or for your grandchild. I speak specifically as a product of Lutheran schools. I went to Lutheran schools, grade school, and I graduated from Metro East Lutheran High School in Edwardsville. I send my kids to Lutheran schools. Yes, I am Lutheran, but I went to Lutheran schools with kids of many. I went to school with Catholics. I went to school with kids who were non-denominational, Baptist, whatever it was, Pentecostal, Presbyterian. I can remember their names, each and every one of them that were not Lutheran. And it was never a problem. My kids go to school with people who are Lutheran and who are all other kinds, or who honestly don't necessarily frequent church very much at all. It is more affordable than you think. And it has never been more necessary than it is right now to consider an alternative that works for you to what the public school has to offer these kids. The waning power that parents have in the relationship to their children in the public school system is horrifying. And if it's not a Lutheran school for you, consider the non-denominational Christian school that might be out there. I've never been to a Catholic school, but I know a lot of people who have very high marks to say about their experience there. There are options. And until we come to our senses and get true school choice, be an advocate for your child and choose your child today and look for an alternative if this is on your heart. And I'm pushing you to just look at it. And if you have questions about a Lutheran school near you, you can message me on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page. I try to respond there if I can. This is a heart issue for me, and I know that it has been an incredible blessing for my children, and I want other people to know that this exists, because when I hear these stories about what has happened during the pandemic to kids, and then I see Dr. Phil talking about it with the ladies of the View, and the ladies of the View don't get it, which is it's the most obnoxious thing, that they would put themselves in a position to likely push back on these alternative, like they're like Whoopi Goldberg and her crew on The View are going to talk about me affording a private education, like somehow or another my kid is more privileged. First of all, I sacrifice in order to send my children to a Lutheran school because it's the number one priority. And secondly, it's rich, pun intended, for people like that to look at what I'm saying. I am saying It's not fair that just my kids have the choice to go there because we're able to make those ends meet. Every child should have that opportunity, and every school should have to be in competition to be the very best they can be if the kid is at the epicenter of that conversation all of the time. If the school is not being pushed to be the very best it can possibly be for the students that attend there, then that school district cares more about something else than they care about your children. And if that's the case, get them the hell out of there. I'm going to take a quick break. I know that you guys have experiences, too, with alternative kinds of education. We can talk about that a little bit more. And we'll get to some more fun stories here on the Annie Fry Show. I highly encourage you to check out that Post-Dispatch article about Lutheran schools and how they chose to go the uncharted path during the pandemic and how much it has paid off for kids who are able to enjoy that opportunity. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
So it's 83 degrees outside right now. It's 83 degrees on the screen on my left, and it's 81 degrees on my right, so that temperature is dropping already. That's pretty amazing. Rapid, some might say.
Left to right.
Yeah, left to right, which is weird because, no, that would be pretty much west to east. This is real.
There's a cold front between
right
your two
here,
computers.
In the studio.
This is the science in action. Air Comfort Service is like, what does this have to do with me? I wonder how many people turned on their air conditioning today. Hopefully you were able to bust the windows open and let the fresh air soak into your home so that you can close them real quick when the temperature does plummet, and then you can maybe turn your furnace on. There are days on the calendar year in St. Louis where you will hit the AC and the furnace on the same day, and this might be one of them. If you have issues with either of your systems, your HVAC systems, Air Comfort Service is a phone call away. 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. You connect with Air Comfort Service and tell them the Annie Fry Show sent you, and you can talk to them about the issues you're facing, possibly the need for a replacement, and they'll come give you the options, and you can choose what's best for you and your budget. When our furnace was kind of crapping out a few Christmases ago, they came over to our house. They gave us an option to fix it. I think it was about 70% of the cost of a new one. It was 20 years old or so. We thought we should put that money towards a new system, and we're glad that we did. Air Comfort Service can give you guidance that you can trust. If you have to send somebody to your loved one, your mom, your dad's house or something to check on the system in their home, you can trust Air Comfort Service every time to do a good, respectful job. 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, online at aircomfortservice.com.
Spring training is here, and it's almost time to embrace the essence of summer and let the soothing tones of Cardinals baseball transport you to warm, sun-soaked days. With the free Odyssey app, relive the joy of tuning in with your transistor radio, now seamlessly connecting you to every St. Louis Cardinals game on KMOX. Wherever your summer takes you, make sure to download the Odyssey app today and savor the sounds of Cardinals baseball. That's AUDACY, redefining your summer soundtrack. Live games available for fans and market only.
Mortgage rates have finally dropped. That's right. Golden Oak has 5.375% fixed rates available right now. Our average cash-out customer saves over $1,000 a month. Call today and take advantage of our 5.375 fixed rate. Call 314-567-GOLD. That's 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.934 APR. FHA 15-year 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
I'm embarrassed to say this. I've been using deodorant on my armpits for 30 years, and anytime I noticed odor anywhere else, I thought I needed another shower, I wasn't clean, or I felt like there was something wrong with me. And then my gynecologist told me about Lumi. It's a whole body deodorant for pits, feet, and privates that controls odor anywhere and everywhere on your body. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, anywhere on my body. And that reassurance is worth every penny.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 300 and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack that comes with a solid stick, cream tube, free product of your choice, and ships free with code 300. LUME deodorant.com, code 300 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I am so sure you're going to love it. Or return it for free. That's LUME deodorant.com, code 300 for an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. LUME deodorant.com, code 300.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at GSLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Odyssey is your home for all the audio that matters to you. Download the Odyssey app today to listen to 97.1 FM Talk, even when you don't have a radio. Always streaming at 971talk.com. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Did you guys hear about Taylor Swift's dad?
Yes. Oddly.
Well, here's a story that came from a little bit earlier. We'll get to the dad thing in a second. Professor says it feels slightly racist to be a Taylor Swift fan.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to turn you into a Taylor Swift fan. Fox News says a California professor who is no stranger to controversial opinions speculated that it might be racist to be a Taylor Swift fan. Melina Abdullah posted to X on Super Bowl Sunday, "Why do I feel like it's slightly racist to be a Taylor Swift fan?" And that's how she talked on Twitter.
Oh, so annoying.
I know. Like, gosh, what kind of professor are you talking like that?
I hear your point, but then that voice.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Abdullah, a professor of Pan-African Studies at Cal State University, Los Angeles, is a self-described, quote, Black Lives Matter organizer, Pan-Africanist, hip-hop scholar, daughter of God, womanist, truth teller, mama. According to her post on X. Again,
Okay.
which is how I know it was said like that. She's also listed as co-founder of the Black Lives Matter Los Angeles chapter and co-director of the activist wing of the advocacy organization Black Lives Matter Grassroots. When one user asked her to elaborate on her opinion, she replied, quote, "I said feel, not think." Kind of like that feeling I get when there are too many American flags.
Well, that is elaborating.
Yeah, I know.
I now know what you mean.
I know more context to where you're coming from. I still think you're an idiot.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything, but
Well, it does. More of an idiot.
well, okay.
Yeah. This is very much so First Amendment. Big fan of it. The more you say, the more I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Do, 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 do.
The vibrato on the end of that was important. Thank you.
You're welcome.
In the same post, someone commented that literally everything is racist. Abdullah responded, "Indeed." A few hours later, she followed up in another post on X after the Kansas City Chiefs had won the game. "Why do I feel like this was some right-wing white supremacist conspiracy? Boo!" Hashtag Super Bowl. She should talk to Jack Posobiec. Because the idea that on Twitter, both of these ideas can exist, that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl and that Kelsey is dating Taylor Swift so Joe Biden can win, at the same time, this lady is like, I think the Chiefs won because it's a right-wing conspiracy. Only in freaking America can you be on those ends of the spectrum. Maybe one of them is right.
It's pretty great. I am glad to see that somebody out there, because I feel like America's missing this, that somebody out there is viewing everything through the lens of race. I feel like that's something that we need more of. Because she makes really good points. And the more that you dove into her points, the more I was like, oh.
She also tweeted, "Folks think they're attacking me by asking why I think everything is racist. I'm not offended. Virtually everything is racist."
So she's just seeing the world for what it is.
And sharing it.
Finally. I'm tired of people lying to me. I need to follow people like this more so I can see the world correctly.
At Doc Melly Mel.
At Doc Melly Mel.
I just looked at her. I was like, should I say? Oh, yeah, I got to say that out loud.
There at Doc Melly Mel.
You know what the funny thing here is?
What?
At least in this report, there's nothing that she identifies as why it would be racist. She just senses it.
She just feels it.
She just senses that it exists. I have a feeling it's because she's made this entire judgment because of Taylor Swift's skin color, which is called something and it's just not coming to mind right now. What do you call that? Oh, racist!
I think I missed the part because you were doing the voice. I missed the part that she is...
I wasn't doing the voice.
She's a at Cal State.
Yes.
I thought she was just some lady.
No.
Okay, so she's educating the youth of America.
Yeah, in Pan-African studies.
Maybe even online, because
And-
they probably haven't gone back into regular school yet.
Subtle to overt racism 101.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine paying for that class?
No, I'd get kicked out.
Yeah.
I had problems not sharing my opinions in school.
I did too.
Yeah. I used to call my dad and tell him like the next thing that happened. And one time I remember being like, "Annie, I have to work." Sorry. Oh, you do? Is that where you go every day? Only I didn't do it in high school. I went to a Lutheran high school and there was no effort like that. Granted, I went to high school in the 90s and the early 2000s. There wasn't that thing. I don't know that that's the case right now in high school or middle school, folks. But college, I remember in media critical theory, I was in this class and the professor, it was Wednesday nights in the fall. And I remember this because the Cardinals were playing in the playoffs. And one class I skipped because I had tickets to go to the game. And the other class I wanted to skip, but you could only skip so many and pass it. So I had a radio in a hoodie and an earbud up through my hoodie, down through my sleeve, and taped, like it was under my watch. And I had an earbud here so I could sit with my head on my hand in class and listen to the game.
Oh, that's kind of awesome.
Amazing.
Nice job.
I wasn't the only person doing it. And other people weren't as sly as I was. Because at one point, the professor was like, "Did we score?"
Really?
Yes. And I'm like, listen, I mean, it would have been maybe, I think it was maybe the fall of 2004, which was when we got swept by the Boston Red Sox. But we were like the best team in baseball by far. And the Red Sox had went to Game 7 with the Yankees and bloody socks, which is totally a conspiracy. And like it was the Red Sox destiny to win that. And we just had to be the people who Jimmy Fallon had to have in that stupid movie with Drew Barrymore. What is that movie called?
I can't remember, but I can
know.
see the cover.
It's in the horror section.
Yes.
but horror.
Fiction.
Yes. Horror.
It's in the horror section.
Horror.
Yeah, it's what it said.
Yes, emphasize the syllable. But I would push back on these professors when they would challenge us. And in this media critical theory class, this professor put a horizontal line on the board.
Horizontal.
With like, here's the far right spectrum, here's the far left spectrum. And, he put Fox News up there. It was right of center. He put MSNBC a little bit left of center. He put CNN. I mean, it would have been 2004, 2005, but it was like right in the middle, maybe even a little right of center. And his point was, and this was when George W. Bush was the president of the United States, that the responsibility of the media, this was why he put this up there, the responsibility of the media is to shift the opposite of what the power that is in charge is, so that you can challenge and check who
is. That sounds great.
Whatever. Yeah. Like, but if only it went like the power shit. I don't think in Obama's era, he was like, this is how this goes.
Yeah.
And it was the same lesson. It was like, take that. Now we're doing something else. And I remember that he put Rush Limbaugh at the far right. Like, as far right as it can go was Rush Limbaugh. And I'm going to say a name, and if you know this name, you're going to know how outrageous this was. Noam Chomsky was just to the left of center.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this kind of shows where the professor was.
Oh, my gosh.
It
might be.
Just to the left of center.
I got a good follow-up for this, because it might be the lesson I remember the most vividly and clearly from college, maybe my entire academic career, was that line on the board. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, this is not accurate.
But it was presented to the class as if it was unbiased.
This is wrong. And then he starts going in on Sean Hannity.
Oh, boy.
And he's like, I think he wanted to put Sean Hannity off the chart to the right.
So he doesn't even exist.
And he starts laying into Sean Hannity and talking about how Sean Hannity just spews whatever he spews, and I'd love to debate him on these issues and blah, blah, blah. So I did what Annie, not then Fry, does, and I called Sean Hannity's show.
No way. I can't believe I've never heard this story.
And he put me on the air.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I can't believe you've never told this story.
And I said, I am a student at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, and I have a professor who is giving us a lesson on media. And I said, Rush Limbaugh was the far right. You were even further right than that. Noam Chomsky just to the left of center.
Wow.
And Sean Hannity says on the air, well, I'm going to put you on hold. And you tell your professor he can name the time, he can name the place, and I'll come debate him.
Oh, this is great.
And I got scared.
Oh,
I needed to pass media critical theory. But I got their information, their producer or whatever, and I think that I eventually told the professor that I talked to Sean Hannity about it, and it didn't materialize in anything, but I pretty much panicked. And I don't really panic, but I took that one far.
Yeah, you did.
And then I was like, it's the dog who caught the car. I was like, oh my gosh.
It actually worked.
I'm not going to pass this class. I'm going to get kicked out of school. Will Sean Hannity give me a job? I didn't think that one through.
Man, that's crazy. That was in college?
Mm-hmm.
What year of college?
I think it would have been in 2004. I can go back and check my.
Okay.
I think it was 2004.
I also went to college during the Bush years. Not super fun for a conservative.
Did we go to the playoffs in 2005, fall playoffs in 2005?
We went to the fall playoffs, but we lost to Houston in the NLDS.
Gosh.
In the divisions? Was that the Lidge game?
Or the NLCS. That was the Lidge game. The Lidge game where
Series?
Pujols hit the home run off of the
And then we
wall.
lost anyway?
Yep.
So it may have been 2005. I don't know.
Regardless, it was the Bush years.
Yeah. I graduated summer 2006, so it would have been before that. And I know that I specifically remember listening to the playoffs in his classroom and being like, you should be glad that I'm here. I'm doing you a favor, which I'm sure is exactly how he felt about it.
Oh, by the way, I got a tweet from Brad. Not this Brad.
At Range Brad?
Yeah. From the producer,
I do it
Brad.
all
Brad,
the
did he
time.
tell you not to look at him in the
Yeah,
eye?
I got a
Yeah,
tweet
I
that
trash
said
talking.
just 2 words: fever pitch.
Fever pitch. Thanks.
Yeah,
There you go.
It's probably a great movie if you're a Red Sox fan.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Like, where's the 2011 movie, people?
Yeah.
It's a better movie than that one.
I still have the DVD from that year somewhere.
There is a YouTube video that plays a song Some Nights from Fun, and there are people who are videoing themselves during Game 6, and then it goes into Game 7, and oh my gosh, I got goosebumps. I will, every single time I talk about this, I will go home and watch it tonight, because it just is, it's peak simple happiness for me.
Mm-hmm.
Warmth. Let's do it again. Playoffs this year. Cardinals. You think going to make it?
I said it last night on Twitter.
You said what?
Cardinals are going to make the playoffs this year.
Ryan, and your expertise?
Not only do they make the playoffs, but they win a game.
Oh, that's haven't done that in a while.
One game.
Just one?
Or more, but at least one.
Minimum.
Yeah,
one.
minimum one.
Well, I said last year in the middle of the season that we were going to make the playoffs. And who did I have to buy you coffee? You coffee?
Yeah, you bought me coffee.
Probably
No,
bought all you
that's the
coffee.
one where you said, I bet you, Brad. And Ryan's like, I'll take that bet.
Yeah, and I told you no, I think.
I still got a coffee, I think.
I'm sure you did. All right, let's take a quick break. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Nikki Haley, run third party. If she loses the GOP nomination, let us know. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
TheDiamondShop.net. February is still here, so you can still save on February birthstone amethyst. 10% off. Plus, they have 30% off all mounted jewelry. If you're in the market right now for a beautiful jewelry piece, I need you to check out The Diamond Shop. It starts at TheDiamondShop.net because you can do that right now. It's $245. You're done working anyway. Get online, go to TheDiamondShop.net and look for pretty things, and you will find them at The Diamond Shop and guided by the kindest, nicest, most knowledgeable people in the business. When you shop local at the Diamond Shop, you're shopping at a family-owned and operated business that has upheld the Diamond Shop legacy since 1910. They're located in Clayton, and when you go into the store and you meet Mona or you meet Tom, you talk to Tom about something custom that you want to have done, maybe taking a family heirloom and molding it into something that is going to be more practical for how you choose to use it. Or if you're shopping for a watch, they have 10% off Bearing watches right now. You are going to understand why the Diamond Shop has been there for so long, because they know it. They get it. They understand how to do business that brings customers back, like my family, and hopefully your family as well. Find them online at thediamondshop.net.
If you're facing $10,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, there are programs available that can consolidate those debts into one single reduced monthly payment you can afford if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief is on a mission to help you become debt-free in just 24 to 48 months. They've helped over 300,000 qualified consumers. Hardworking Americans just like you pay off more than $1 billion in debt, earning them an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Accredited Debt Relief will tailor the program to fit your specific budget and financial situation. So call Accredited Debt Relief now for your free no-obligation savings estimate and let them help you take control of your financial destiny.
Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. That's 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. Program and services not available in all states.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25 plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
Mark Cox here. Everybody loves what they see at Hampton Manor, this brand new senior living community just north of the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. Schedule your tour today at WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
Well, February, of course, is the month for love. And when is the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it deserved? Have you gotten down on your hands and knees and adored how clean and refreshed it was? You probably haven't done that. I do not recommend that. Do this instead, because your carpet is likely one of the biggest investments in your home. It's also the biggest air filter in your home. Let's clean it professionally with the help of my friends at Zero Res. And lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home with their Love Their Rug special during the month of February. Take advantage. Call 314-474-2020. Go online, ZeroResSTL.com. Take advantage of a great offer. 3 rooms, professionally cleaned, zero-resified, as we like to say, starting at $119 plus a free hallway thrown in during the month of February. Let's not forget about the air ducts. During the month of February, take $50 off your air duct cleaning package when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. It's super easy to make the appointment. Call Zero Res. They have tech all over the St. Louis region. 314-474-2020. Online, ZeroResSTL.com. Mention my name, Mark Reardon, or 97.1 FM Talk. Get the February deal. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same.
We're about to give you the results on this poll. Will Nikki Haley run third party if she loses the GOP nomination? When she loses the GOP nomination? Yes or no? That's today's Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you think and leave a comment. 249. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Terrence Bradley has been on the stand in Fulton County, Georgia this afternoon in connection with the Fonnie Willis disqualification hearing. We'll have the very latest coming up right after Fox News.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Ryan, I've got a little forewarning for you. I read this story and I thought this is something I should make sure Ryan is just aware of so that he doesn't duplicate. You don't ever want to make a mistake someone else has made so that you can learn from it. Somebody else's mistake, save you the time.
So the presumption is this is the kind of thing that I would do.
Yeah, this is good looking out, Annie.
A woman in Ireland lost more than $800,000 in an injury lawsuit stemming from a car crash after photos showed her launching a Christmas tree during a post-holiday competition and winning the event.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Camilla
I could have told her that, though.
Grabska, 36, sued an insurance company in the country, RSA Insurance, after a 2017 car crash she claimed caused her debilitating neck and back pain that prevented her from holding down a job for 5 years. The Irish Independent reported Grabska is a mom of 2. The car accident was the result of someone hitting Grabska's car from the rear and allegedly left her unable to carry her young children or complete household chores.
Oh, no.
She quit her job shortly after, received disability payments, and argued that her previous and future lost income totaled more than $500,000.
Are you saying this because whenever you see me on the street, I always throw myself into parked cars?
Newspaper reports, however, soon surfaced of Grabska competing in a Christmas tree throwing event on January 8th, nearly a year after the accident supposedly left her in disabling pain. The Irish High Court reviewed a photo of Grabska launching a tree, which the judge described as a, quote, very graphic picture, according to the Telegraph. I'm going to share this picture here on our stream because it is so
graphic.
Funny. Have you seen it?
I've seen the picture. I saw this article. That picture is like the most damning evidence you could possibly have
you're just
in
going,
that case.
You walk in, you go, you got me.
Yeah, because it is like the way even the body's twisted. She's throwing a giant evergreen.
One leg.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a javelin.
And she had just won $800,000 in a disability lawsuit. And then it was like immediately she went to the Christmas tree throwing competition from the courtroom.
She's not big.
She looks like she's smiling.
Her leggings say on the side, I just can't. They should say, I can. I did.
That's not a small Christmas tree. That's not a little Charlie Brown Christmas tree either.
That's you can't see the top of it. That's a minimum of a 6-footer.
That's a pretty good sized tree.
Do you see how happy she is?
Oh, I mean, she's got great form. She is throwing that Christmas tree and winning.
And losing.
And also losing $800,000. Whoops.
It's like throwing a bag of money.
It's like as far as you can into the ocean.
Well, that's so far, I don't think you're going to be able to retrieve it.
I tell you what, you don't go into court, because I've tried this many times. You go in and you go, the car hit me. My diabetes. And you just assume that you're going to get cash. You don't leave the courtroom and go to a Christmas tree throwing competition. You just don't do it.
Unless you're a Democrat in America. Then you get what you get.
I'm trying to connect the dots.
YouTube live chat poll. Will Nikki Haley run third party if she loses the GOP nomination, yes or no?
No, she will not run third party.
Why not?
Because she, A, keeps saying that she won't, and B, I actually still do think she prefers a Republican over Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she is scrupulous enough to not put herself first and run and ruin the chances. Not that it would, but it could.
You're putting more faith in Nikki Haley than a lot of people are.
I am. Not that I like Nikki Haley. I don't like all of her positions. I don't dislike all of her positions either. But I don't think that she is going to put herself above. She's definitely doing that right now, but there's nobody really losing anything while she's doing this other than a bunch of donors who are losing a whole bunch of money. But that's to her. She'll get a bunch of money. She'll solidify her position as a center-right person going into the next 4 years. That's what she's going to do, and then she's done.
Yeah, I'm with Ryan on this one. She keeps saying she's not going to, and I don't think she will based on, it's her word. She said she's not going to drop out of this race, and she hasn't.
I keep hearing her talk about the polls that show how much that she's going to dominate Joe Biden. Should Joe Biden be the person, should it be Haley Biden? And she's really, really committed to those polls. And I'm like, if you really like to look at polls, why are you still running?
Yeah,
you need to not, if you got to look at the polls that matter before the polls that are favorable to you.
Yeah, and those polls she's quoting, that was 3-4 months ago.
Yeah,
that's not even true
Donald
anymore.
Trump was like, that was one outlier poll, and
yeah.
I don't know if it's as much as what Trump says, and kind of take that with a grain of salt as well. Will Nikki Haley run third party if she loses the GOP nomination? I'm a no on this. I don't think she could win. I think that what that would end up in result would be potentially a Joe Biden win, which would be disastrous for her and obviously the country. Will she run third party? 71% of you said no. You agree with us. So I don't think she is. You don't think she is. Let's pray that she isn't. Michigan votes tonight. It'll be interesting to see how Joe Biden fares against the not committed vote in Michigan. He's got to win Michigan. Donald Trump would like to swipe it. So stay tuned. Mark Reardon's up next, and we'll have those results for you tomorrow. Don't go away.
From me, I'm not America's sweetheart.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement